Hello and welcome. It's match number 6 here at the Seattle Orcas Women's T20 Exhibition Series. It is the Bellevue Blazers taking on the Washington Waves. Not too long ago, we had the toss. Let's go down with Brian Walters to find out what the captains have decided.
Toss time for the final time on the group stages before you get to the big final tomorrow. Today's match between the Bellevue Blazers and the Washington Waves. All the important people. Umpires are going to be Ramesh Rajadipalli and Jagadish Mahadevan. I think I got that right. Captains Giovanna Aras and Geetika Kodali. Fanny Chitneni, as well as Amit Thakur. And then, of course, Sean Carey, the man that makes all of this go. Fanny, I believe you have the coin. And, Amit is going to flip the coin, and you will call.
Heads.
Heads is the call. Umpires, that looks like a...
Tail.
It is the tails. Geetika Kodali, you've won the toss. What will you do and why?
We'd like to bowl first. Our team would like some experience chasing before the final tomorrow. And our bowlers have been doing exceptionally well, putting pressure while bowling second. So we want to challenge ourselves, see how we adapt to keep it still tight without that equation in mind.
Without the equation in mind. Bowling first, are you still committed to being the one taking the new ball? You've done really well in that position so far.
Yeah, definitely. Yesterday we had a strategic change where we had an extra spinner come in. That's making me the only pacer in the 11th. So yeah, I'd love to take the new ball again.
Any changes to your side?
No changes.
No changes. Go well.
Thank you.
Did I go okay?
Yeah, I think it was.
Giovanna,
Yes.
you're going to be batting first. Your comfort level with that?
I think it's fine. I think we can do it. We put up a decent total in the first game today. I think we can do a bit better. Well, that's our goal. We're going to put up a higher score, maybe 140 today.
140.
Yeah,
150.
I'm being optimistic right now. I think we can do it. I think we have a great batting side, to be honest.
Excellent. Now, you have to win to be able to play tomorrow. Does that put extra pressure on you?
No, we know what the stakes are. We know what we have to do. I think we're just going to follow to our basics. We're going to follow our plans and just hope for the good outcome.
And it changes.
We have Ritul Dwivedi coming in.
Fantastic. Go well.
Thank you.
It is the Washington Waves who won the toss. They'll be bowling first.
Thanks a lot, Brian. There you have it. Washington Waves have won the toss. They are choosing to have a bowl first. Plenty of action to play for here. And at the moment, the Bellevue Blazers need a second win. We take a quick look at the squads as well. Giovanna Aras leading from the front, a pretty handy all-rounder, and she was able to get some bowling in as well, which is promising signs. The internationals have been good, but Mahek Desai has been excellent up at the top, along with Disha Dhingra, and of course the West Indian contingent in Alia Lane and Janelia Glasgow will be very handy today. But all in all, it's a very balanced side. They just need to make sure that they can take the catches in the second game, because that's what was a bit of a problem in the first game. On the other hand, the Washington Waves are sitting at the top and fairly comfortable at the moment. Geetika Kodali leading from the top there, and plenty of batting in the likes of Tarnum Chopra. As we see the first delivery being bowled. It's going to be a dot to start. And we will also say hello again to Brian Walters.
Monali Patel, it feels as though we've been teleported to an entirely different city from the one that the games were played in this morning. Current temperature, comfortably, I would say 27 degrees Celsius, 81 or so Fahrenheit. Brilliant sunshine, almost to the point where we're hot. Very, very different conditions, and I'll tell you what, this game has electricity. Obviously, the winner of this game would fancy themselves as being in a really good position, bearing in mind that just the two top teams are who go to the final tomorrow. And that will be very much decided as we get to the end of this game.
First runs off the bat, as this is worked into the leg side. Coming off a half-century, Disha Dhingra. In the first game, she was outstanding with the bat. And they'll be looking back and reflecting as to how they weren't able to close that game. Unfortunately, they fell about 20 runs short, weren't able to get runs towards the end of the innings. and the fielding wasn't quite up to standard. Let themselves down in the field when they couldn't hold on to the catches. This now does become a bit of a must-win situation for them.
A must-win it is, and I'll tell you that the way that this game is shaping up, it almost feels like a virtual semifinal. If the Washington Waves win this game, they are well and truly at the top of the table. They will be in the finals tomorrow. If Bellevue Blazers win, then all three teams will be on 4 points, and then it becomes a conversation about net run rate.
Oh, that could have been stopped. It was a tough chance, but it's going to be the first boundary of the innings.
Good looking strike up and over the top. Sanvisu, the fielder down there at deep cover. But there you see that shot. We've talked all day about these big drives over the offside, particularly that extra cover region. None better than that one that you just saw from Mahek Desai, who's played that shot to perfection a number of times already today.
The other thing to keep an eye out for is the fact that they've already played another game in the morning. The Blazers, 1 over gone, 5 for none. They want to make sure that they can pull through energy level wise to get through this game. And if they do come in that 1-2 spot on the points table, they'll be playing tomorrow for the final. So it's 3 back-to-back games.
Lord. Now, the exuberance of youth means that with the ability to rest up overnight, that's less of an issue, let's say, if it were as compared to a Masters game. That would make a bit. Have you ever considered playing Masters, Manali?
I am actually slotted in to play Legends League later
Are
this year.
you?
Yeah.
It was probably 4 years ago. They said to me, Brian, there is a Masters tour, over 50s tour to Barbados. Are you interested in coming to play? And I was like, no, thank you. And they said, oh, we actually need a commentator also. Can you come commentate? It's like, that I can do.
Yeah, I'm not so sure how this is going to go either for me. It's been 7 years since I've played a game.
Manali, may I point out to our listening audience that in between games today, you walked, 15 laps around the stadium?
That's walking. Pulled. Should be cut off. Oh, dear. That is an unfortunate piece of bounce off the ground, and it's going to find the boundary rope for 4.
Oh, this is unfortunate. You hate to see it happen. Yes, it was a bit of an unfortunate bounce, but it appeared as though she had it covered. And this here, that is really something that you could have been able to recover from. So Sanvisud will be very disappointed in that effort.
We know she likes taking her time, but we know how quickly she can convert that as well once she's set. She's actually the leading boundary hitter in the tournament so far, Disha Dhingra. You know, every time I've hit the nets, whatever it is, after a year or 2 years, I rediscover muscles that I've forgotten about. Always wait. I'm like, why am I sore? Pulled again. Just for single this time. It's all these niggly muscles and the external obliques where you haven't used in a while. Or the best is the forearm. You know, when you're driving the ball and then that forearm the next morning is just so sore, the top of the forearm.
I will comfortably state that it has been 10 years since I've played in a cricket match, and I've likely played in my last cricket match. And the less said about that, the better.
Very full and completely missed on that occasion. End of the second, it's 10 for none. So what you're saying is those muscles that I'm talking about rediscovering, you haven't rediscovered them.
What's the most kind way of saying this?
No.
Okay, no is probably the right answer. Let's just say most of those muscles I'll never use in a strenuous way ever again, so I'm not even worried about it. I get my little 2.5 mile walk in the morning, and I'm perfectly good.
It always disappoints me, though. I'll hit the nets after however many months, years, whatever it's been, and when I'm sore for the next 2 days, I'm disappointed in myself. I feel like, what has happened?
Epsom salt bath.
No. That's not what I'm disappointed about. Very well bowled. Bit of movement in. Not so much swing, but it's just a bit of seam movement. I'm disappointed in the fact that I'm sore. I shouldn't be.
Ah, I got you. Back to this game for a second. That appeal was interesting. The only person who appealed was Amarpal Kaur at short extra cover. The bowler didn't appeal. The keeper didn't appeal. I believe our co-commentator Sheil Majumder is indicating that he heard a sound, but he's 100 yards away, so I'm not sure how he could have heard it and the keeper didn't.
And he says he does hear random sounds sometimes. You might want to get that checked out,
Yeah.
I think.
That feels like something that needs to be looked into at minimum.
Good angle this from Geetika Kodali. Not allowing for much room. She's also quite consistent when she needs to pull out those Yorkers.
Well, at the toss, she mentioned that they've dropped everybody else who was a pace bowler for strategic purposes. They wanted to go heavy on spin. So she is the only pace bowler in the side. Slashed away over the top. That's going to go for 4, Manali. To me, that feels like a chance. Had that person at backward point, I think this Taranum Chopper, had they been a little taller, she's not the tallest woman around, but this to me, I wouldn't call it a chance because it didn't go to hand, but a taller fielder in that spot could have taken that catch.
That's power. Raw power off the bat of Disha Dhingra. So consistent the first 3 deliveries, Geetika Kodali, and then just a bit of width on offer on that one and punished right away. Again. This time a little bit fuller, but it's still going to get the same treatment. It's 4 more. Back-to-back 4s for Disha Dhingra.
A little bit fuller, a little bit straighter, but still too much width given that field. Look at this. This is about a 5th stump line. You don't have a lot of room for error when it comes to Disha Dhingra. And if you're the marginal, or just marginally short or marginally wide, on that occasion, I think that's both. That shot is right there. You ball coming into your living room. That gives you the view if you were standing at point when Disha Dhingra is batting. Lovely, lovely shot.
Make that 4 more. An expensive over this from Geetika Kodali. 3 4s in a row. And Disha Dhingra is exactly where she left off from that first game. In form and ready to score some runs.
This is not as bad a ball as the shot made it look. Yes, it's overpitched. It's just about in the slot. But you still have to put them away. Played with a straight bat. So many times that you see that the batters would want to go across the line, maybe try to drag it to mid-wickets. But this is played in such a way that sends the ball right back where it came from, even just a hint of in-swing, but she still stays leg side and gets it through the offside for 4. Absolutely brilliant stuff from Disha Dhingra.
Oh, that's going to be 4 more. That is 4 boundaries in a row between the 2 batters, and this is a very expensive start.
The festival of boundaries continuing. Mahek Desai getting one on her legs. Right armer bowling over the wicket, so that ball has to be outside the line of off stump. You have no room for error going down the leg side.
Goes for the soft touch this time. It won't be any runs. Making sure that they get good use out of these 6 overs of power play. That is definitely off the bat onto the pads. It's a very optimistic shout from the bowler.
Taranum Chopper just thinking, okay, let's see here. Good eye, Manali Patel. So yes, a very healthy edge that time.
I think it needs to hit the pads first the last time I checked.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure that's still a rule. Yes, absolutely. A good comeback, though, after the first delivery down the leg side. 3 dot balls immediately after that. Good comeback for Turnham Chopper.
Yeah, keeping things tight. I think where they lose their way, the Blazers, is they get a good start because their openers have often scored runs for them, but there isn't much towards the end of the innings. A dot to end the over, just the 4 runs coming off of it. It is 26 for none.
On that point, a T20 match has 4 phases. You have the acceleration phase or the power play, then you have the consolidation phase, then the acceleration, then the finish. They do very well in the first, third, and fourth phases. The second phase, where you consolidate, accumulate runs with consistency, is the area that I believe that they have struggled so far. And we talked a number of times in the last few days about dot ball percentages. I think during that consolidation phase, they allow themselves to be bowled to more often than not. And that's when you absorb a lot of dot balls, and it doesn't give you the opportunity to keep the scorecard ticking the way that you'd like for it to.
Our parkour into the attack. Not a lot of width on that, but they've done really well to just squeeze it out for 2 runs.
Well, when you fumble the ball on the boundary that goes for 4 when it should have been stopped, it is really good to see that, number one, the captain keeps you in that position. That is the fielder out there, Sanvi Sood. And then she's handled the last 2 in that area with expertise. So you like seeing that. That's a bit of a confidence builder for her. And good to see that the captain still has that faith in her.
Played across, not out of the middle. But this is how well they play the multiple facets of the game. It's not just boundaries, it's also rotation of strike. Also pretty level-headed. They don't get too flustered by the dot balls. That struck really well. Beautiful shot down the ground for 4.
Well, that's a shot of anger from Mahik Desai. We've talked about how she loves that extra cover shot, but look at this one. She drags it from a 5th stump line and drags it over the top of mid-on. And that is an excellent, excellent stroke. And the reason why it's such a good shot for me is the fact that there's protection in the deep, not quite an extra cover, much more square than that. But she recognizes the fact that that fielder was not there in the deep and went for that shot anyway. Now, a change in the field. And
Make that 4 more. Exquisite. Timing, balance. And this is just some very classy cricket out there.
Well, Mahek Desai is making batting look very easy. This pair, I really love their intensity. I love their aggression. I love the fact that they play correctly, but if the ball is there to be hit, then they can certainly accomplish that. This pair really, really doing well, and in particular, I'm impressed with Mahek Desai.
That's a better line and a better length. It'll be a dot to end the 5th over. It's 37 for none.
So 5 overs in the books. The last over of the power play will be bowled by Turnham Chopper. This will be her third over on the trot. And it just feels like the Bellevue Blazers are off to a much better start than the Washington Waves were expecting, having inserted them into bat. As we say, good afternoon to a man who possibly has brought us to a different city from the one we're in this morning, Sheila Majumdar.
Thank you, Brian. Second time in the day we are finding these two players stitching together another valuable partnership, 73-run partnership with 74 balls in the morning. And they're already at 39.
And the thing about it is that they're not taking any chances, it does not appear. They're not necessarily looking to hit in sort of, helter-skelter fashion like that. That is outside the off stump and cut away beautifully. They'll get two more here. And that just tells you if the ball is there to be hit, they can cash in on them.
You and Manali spoke about it a while back. I think the impressive part is how many ones and twos are coming along. That's so effective to just keep the scoreboard moving at a certain pace.
Dishadingra typically does not attempt to overhit the ball. Her natural game, she's strong enough to be able to power the ball where she needs to. Trouble here. Oh, didn't collect it cleanly, and just in case the dive, I think, would have saved Dishadingra there. But it's important to push for those ones and twos, as you mentioned.
Excellent running with the wicket. Great judgment. Put the pressure on the fielder. It was straight to the fielder, but they took the chance. And it's the pressure that got the fumble from the bowler when they were collecting back. And no damage done.
No damage done, but plenty of damage done inside the power play. 42 is the score after 6, scoring at a rate of exactly 7. That projects to a score of 140, which would be a handy score.
Absolutely. Especially the context of the game. Like we said, all three results possible from here. All the three teams have chances to make it to the finals. So you're not just playing one game, you're playing to the consequence of everything else. So,
expand on that point as it relates to the points table and who plays tomorrow.
So Washington Waves with about positive .551 net run rate would probably feel they have a feet inside the door for the finals, unless something dramatically goes wrong for them.
Oh my goodness.
And
yes.
for the other two teams, especially the Bellevue Blazers, they're at minus .19 and 129, and Redmond Raptors at minus .323 with 4 points. So if Blazers win this game and come to 4, they're already placed at a better net run rate than Raptors, and they can make it tomorrow. But if in case something dramatically goes wrong for Waves, that they lose a lot of net run rate points, then it might be a Blazers versus Raptors tomorrow.
Yashadi Titeki into the attack and starts with a very full one. That is a diving attempt on the boundary, but it is ultimately in vain. Isana Vagela with the attempt, but yet another 4. Number 9 for the inning so far.
That's a lot of boundaries in just 6.1 overs. They haven't hit many sixes, in fact, none so far, but they've been consistently playing, which kind of talks about the way they bat, these two. They cut down the risks and they ensure they consolidate. That's how they scored 73 runs this morning, cut the foundation. They couldn't defend that total. That's a different story, but
Right.
They would love to probably accelerate a little more, but they're doing it nicely so far.
Excellently placed. They'll get 2 runs, and I would imagine that Captain Geetika Kodale would want Jaivi Patak to have given her maybe just a touch more effort. Don't want to be too harsh on her. She's a young lady. She's 15 years old. It's also to her right, and she's left-handed, so that would have mattered as well. So you're off to a decent start. And that start has put you in line with what would be a score as of right now based on the current run rate of 147. 147 would be an excellent score. That's where they would end up if they continue scoring at the rate of 7.35 and over. 10 wickets in hand, that has some potential for acceleration. But as you said, and after this ball, I'll ask you to talk more about it. They didn't necessarily close with given the start that they had this morning.
No, they didn't, but they would still prefer batting first and putting the total on. And oh, that's a 50 up there. Yeah, at 6.5, that's a fairly decent clip. So as I was saying, they would love to put the total on runs on board and then go and defend it versus going and chasing with that pressure behind them. It's always good to have runs on board and then trust your bowlers, but we've seen that they were running a bowler or two short. 7 overs done, 50 without loss. Yeah. One of the things that we saw in the last couple of overs was the way they took the attack to Amar Paul, and we all know that Amar Paul Kaur, she is a leading wicket taker so far in this competition. She comes in with a great sort of average, and she's been the sort of leading bowling option for the Waves. So for these two openers to take Amar Paul, take the attack to her and score that many runs and take her out of the attack, that's a psychological plus that they've scored so far already.
Entirely. So a little bit Adir Rawat, a little bit of leg spin. You, Shiel Majumder, have spoken about the number of leg spinners that you've seen in the tournament so far. Tell me what you think about this young lady here, Adir Rawat.
Very promising, what I've seen so far. She's a trier. She's got a few things, but one thing is she does not get flustered if she gets attacked. She's kept at ensuring that she's getting the flights and revolutions on the ball.
In the air, just teasing over the top of Yashaditi Teki in the covers, and that's going to be another couple.
Almost chance created.
Almost hoping that she was about 9 feet tall. You could almost see the frustration. Look at this. Oh, can I please be taller? Oh, it's over my head.
Yep. Hey, that's a better line there. The previous one was slightly wider. That's one thing that she will have to keep working. But she's a trier, as I said. I've seen her make adjustments. She does not get, too bothered about what's gone by. Focus on present and keeps sort of focusing on her line and length, her basics.
And that was the commentator's curse right there.
Yes, absolutely.
Sprayed one down the leg side. It's just the first extra, believe it or not, in the game. We're into over number 8. First wide that we've seen. By the way, the umpires are Ramesh Rajwadepalli and Jagadish Mahadevan. You're from this area. I'm assuming you know both of them.
I've seen them. They're very, very accomplished umpires. Really respectable. I have, in my playing days, attempted many things, and one of them was for a brief period to bowl leg spin. I thought I was decent at it, but I know how much painful it is to get that art completely sort of, even, I wouldn't use the word mastered, but even to get slightly comfortable with it, because it is a very hard skill, hard art in various forms of cricketing disciplines, really. 8 overs done, 54 for not.
Okay, so I likely misspoke earlier when I said that there was a wide. Apparently there was not a wide, so the score is in fact 54 without loss. up and over cover. Disha Dingra makes this look so easy. Yet another boundary. Number 10 in the innings.
She's batting on another planet, Brian. Disha. She's just plundering runs here, one match after the match. There, look at that. That's a hit me ball. Short of length, sitting up. No pace in it whatsoever. She was looking at it. She's already looking the ball, and it's appearing like a football. So she's not going to miss on any of those invitations. Whew.
Gone. That is a clean catch, taking that long on. And Disha Dingra trying to repeat the nose edge, but she is caught. That is a really smart catch taken by the captain herself, Geetika Kadali. First wicket down, 58 for 1.
I'm like an encyclopedia of commentators' curse today. That's like, since morning, this is like the fourth one. But unfortunately.
And you've been here for like 3 overs.
And thankfully, it's cumulatively crossed both the games. But I just spoke so highly about Disha Dingra and the way she's been batting on another planet. And the very next ball, she finds a fielder.
So here's my opinion as it relates to full tosses. When I played, the easiest delivery to get me out with was a full toss. Because it appears as though it is the easiest ball in the world to smack, and you want to smack it down to downtown Seattle. And then the next thing, you give a catch to long on.
I think it's the indecision in that moment, because suddenly eyes light up. Oh, an opportunity. And more often than not, it's the incorrect shot that is. I mean, I have found some of the best players of full tosses are the players who keep themselves in the moment and play it down on the ground, not trying to hit it out of the park. And they get fours much consistently. I was like that too. I have lost my wickets looking rather foolish at times.
No, having said that, look, I'm Jamaican, so I don't play spin very well. So the best way for a spinner to get me out was to lob a full toss in my general direction, and I'm giving a catch to somebody.
Say that to somebody who goes by the name Christopher Gale. He just did not respect the spinners at all.
That's the other thing. I mean, about the only thing that Chris Gale and I have in common is that we're both Jamaican, we're both left-handed. That's where the similarities stop. So,
gosh, everybody thought he was just a big fluke or a freak. No, sir. Christopher Gale was an absolute
fielding
science.
chance for me here. Oh. I have fielded the ball for the first time in a long time here. That is 4 more.
Viewers, if you just heard a bunch of garbled sentences, that's because a ball was coming at us, and we were trying all sorts of things.
Let's see if we got it on camera here. We sure did. Let's see. Oh, they didn't get the stop. I wanted to see the stop.
Couple of
because it was expertly done.
Commentator legs doing pyrotechnics. It was us.
Look at this. Speaking of pyrotechnics, well and truly over the top for 6. Well, Janelia Glasgow is having fun. She sees the ball in her arc, goes big over the top. Look at this.
Janelia Glasgow, and we spoke in the morning that she might have gone through a bit of drop in form, 2 of 20. Not here. She definitely likes the warm weather. Commentators curse. That's how close it was again. I'm not going to speak about anyone from here on. She's doing a decent job.
Take a look at this again. Let's see what happens here. Oh, that is a beautifully bold delivery. That fooled the batter as well as the keeper. When you do that, that is high-class bowling.
That's a classic spinner's deception. Inviting the bowler into the shots, getting them committed, and then have that ever so little turn, missing everything. I would probably be very interested to see if there was a little bit of an opportunity for the wicketkeeper to whip up the bails there.
It feels like that's a misstumping to me, is what I would think. And these young ladies, we talked about the fact that there's so many wicketkeeper options here in the U.S. That
Look at
one, I
that.
think, yeah, let's see.
Oh, yes.
Oh, gone
Oh,
by a
yes.
mile. Gone by a mile.
That's an opportunity gone missing.
Just Amar Paul Carr back into the attack. Oh, my goodness. That would have been a big one right there.
She was nowhere in the picture, Janelia Glasgow. Ha.
Nowhere in the picture whatsoever. But I will tell you that you will want to have taken that because you don't want to give somebody like you don't want to give somebody like Janelia Glasgow a second chance to hurt you.
No, I'm sure she's feeling the need to cover up for that missed opportunity in the morning today.
Down the ground, straight as an arrow. Geeta Kakadali with a very strong throwing arm. So that's just a single. So we were talking about Chris Gale earlier. Chris Gale, one of the guests of honor at the MLC final, played in Oakland several weeks ago.
Mm-hmm.
Seattle Orcas, one of 6 major league teams, of course. And I love the fact that it's a major league team that is grabbing the bull by the horns and driving this specific initiative. Catch it is the cry. Geeta Kakadali does well. Couldn't get close to the catch, but does well to keep it to a single.
Janelia Glasgow comes from the Windward Islands. I'm sure she loves the warm weather. And maybe it was the cold weather in the morning that might have just frozen her footwork a little bit. There you are. We are looking comfortable here. Not soaked. A few deliveries back.
Well, I will say, somebody once told me that I have a voice for radio and as well as a face for radio. And I think that shot that we just saw on the screen about 10 seconds ago proves that.
No, sir. You are so good at what you do.
Whip to extra cover. Oh, I'll tell you what, that's a good, sharp piece of fielding. Jazar Claxton, I believe, is who that is. Take a look at this again. Do you think sneaking down, going down leg side? This is going to be trouble. Oh, a clean pickup there, and she's gone by half the length of the pitch. That, to me, is a big miss. A fumble. Look at this.
Yep. 2 in 2 overs.
In fact, that was
the previous
shout.
one. A close leg before shout. But you are absolutely right. We are at the end of 10 overs at 72 for 1. As the teams might take a break of a quick water break. But just to close on that thought, this is the second opportunity gone begging in 2 overs. There was a stumping one previous over, and now this one. And on both occasions, it was Janelia Glasgow and maybe Mehak Desai too this time, who was under the pump.
Well, we'll take the break along with the players. See you in about, let's say 2 minutes. See you shortly.
Halfway mark, 10 overs gone. Bellevue Blazers are 72 for 1. That's 72 for 1 at the drinks break.
quick hydration break and back into the action. Solid start at the halfway point with 72 runs on the board and just the one wicket. They've set themselves up for a big total here. Bellevue Blazers.
They would love to put their runs on board, considering the stakes that are at play here. And then go out there and trust their bowling to do the job.
Just want to see them finish strong.
Yes. They have the foundation, so
Absolutely.
to speak, from here on. And good to see Janelia finding the form again.
That's picked up well, and it's going to beat the fielder as well. That's just the amount of power and speed that's on that delivery. Mike Desai flying 25 of 20. She's not phased by the loss of the first wicket. Quick hands through it. Fielder had no chance whatsoever in the deep.
She's played that pickup shot very well towards that cow corner position. She plays the spin better. Clearly, Janelia is having some little challenge with the spin, reading the spin, although she's hit a 6 there. But no such challenges for Mehak Desai. She's reading it well.
A bit of yes, no, decide against it in the end. It's the right decision as well.
So a missed stumping chance in the 9th over, a missed run-out chance in the 10th. The Waves are feeling the pressure a bit right now.
That's a well-judged single. And credit to Janelia Glasgow, who was at the non-strikers and reacted early for that quick single.
They have run hard. They've taken some calculated risks here to keep the strike rotating, like you had mentioned your first stint, Manali. That's such a crucial part. Sometimes you've seen teams getting too pivoted towards scoring boundaries, and then those dot balls adding a lot of pressure, but not them. They've been taking the risk, rotating the strikes. That's augured well for them.
Yeah, that's exactly it, isn't it? It's making sure that the scoreboard's ticking. It also means that you as a batter are being forced to concentrate. Sometimes when you're the non-strikers for too long, you do lose concentration. We see a lot of times wickets will fall because the non-strikers have been at the other end for good 6, 7, 8 deliveries. Picked up well, not well enough, I don't think, and this is an outstanding catch. Isani Vaghela in the deep, judges it really well in the end, and that's going to be wicket number 2. Mahek Desai, 26 off 23 in the innings today, but now with that wicket, both openers are gone. It's 79 for 2.
Isani Vaghela, Manali, she picked up, she caught a blinder yesterday on the boundary line. We were all talking about it, probably the catch of the tournament so far, and she continues to do well as a boundary rider again, judging that to perfection.
For a second, it looked like she had hit that well enough to get it in the gap and over Isani Vaghela. But not quite out of the middle, and a very well judged catch in the end. 11 overs gone, 79 for 2, and they're going to need another partnership here. Nine overs to go in the innings.
And this is again that time where they probably will get an over.
Whoa, what are those moves? Hang on.
Yeah. They're enjoying
There's some
their
moves
time.
there. Oh, you just stopped.
Oh, look, they're all such exuberant personalities. They're enjoying this moment more than anything else. Of course, there is the pressure of winning and all of that, but at the end of the day, having fun is such a critical component of playing, right?
Well, that's why you play at the end of the day, isn't it?
Of
You
course.
want to make sure that you're having a good time. And a lot of these girls are playing consistent cricket with or against a lot of these girls throughout the US in tournaments. I don't know how that's missed.
Yes. Amarpal Kaur likes this end. She came for the first over from the other, got hit for a few runs, but she had a very good second over from this end. Oh,
That's a soft dismissal. Very soft dismissal. Straight into the hands.
Chandelia Glasgow. She was going well, looking good. She didn't have a. She had a very tough time in the morning and she was looking pretty good, but against the run of play, loses a wicket.
Lack of pace. Slows it right down Amarpal Kaur, and a pretty simple catch in the end to see Janelia Glasgow walking off. A bit of trouble here for the Blazers. They're 79 for 3. Despite the good start, they find themselves out there with 2 batters yet to get off the mark.
I don't know how she does it, but Amarpal Kaur keeps taking wickets. She just has a golden arm. 8th wicket of the tournament. She's just having a great time here. A good all-round cricketer. And you can see the team feeds off her energy. She's a prominent voice when they come into the huddle. And she loves bowling.
And she's another one who's an all-rounder. She's actually known for her batting. And the fact that her bowling is as good as it is just such a handy thing to have as a player. Does lead the Canadian side as well. She's been the captain for a couple of years now. Played a high level of cricket in India in the state of Punjab.
I am so impressed with all the players out here, Manali. This is the first time I'm doing commentary for the women's cricket, and just to see every cricketer taking interest in all facets of the game, have so many multidimensional skills, has just genuinely been an object of inspiration and being impressed for me. I mean, I don't see that in men's cricket so much.
That's going to be wide. Just straying down leg. Yeah, there's a long way to go for women's cricket. Absolutely there is. But there are some really good positive signs, especially for USA when it comes to women's cricket. And this is going to be a single in the end. A fumble will allow for them to cross across. And not to take any credit away from the likes of Brazil, where they've also put in a lot of effort into women's cricket. The difference for me with the USA is the caliber of cricket. These girls are playing at a level that is far ahead than anyone else in the region. And that comes down to the fact that coaching has to be better for that. The opportunities, the number of times that they play in a year has to increase. And they're continuing to do that, and you can see the results on the field because of that.
You're spot on there. Also just the talent pool in the age group that's coming through August so well.
Tight single in the end. It was a bit of a fumble. She would have been home, but does need to put out the dive.
They've been pushing their singles. These are 2 new batters, and we've seen them take 2 very close singles, both last 2 deliveries. So they have probably spoken in the break that singles are very critical. They don't, even if the bigger runs are not coming, they need to get accumulating runs. That would just not put too much pressure in the death overs for them.
Looking to pierce the offside gap. Won't get it through this time.
They're in a bit of a spot of bother here, Manali. They have lost 3 top batters, and Disha Kaveri Pakum and Shivana Aras now at the crease. And I'm curious, what's the batting options left in the dugout right now?
12 overs gone, 82 for 3. They've got 8 overs left in the innings.
Alia Lane after this, probably. She did have a little bit of tough time, but then we hope their wicketkeeper Sahasra Gorla to come in and do some. Shubhi Agarwal, she seems to be someone who can bat a bit. So yeah, but this is a very critical combination. They need to see a few overs through, at the same time keep the acceleration going.
They haven't had the need to expose. They haven't had the need to expose the entire batting order. And it's because the top order has done very well for them.
Yes.
And this becomes a struggle when you lose a few too many wickets and all of a sudden you've got players in a very important match who haven't had much time out in the middle to go out and score some runs.
And a must-win game. This is where Giovanna has to put her hand up, because she can bat with some tempo. At the same time, she's probably knows the local conditions and probably that confidence as a captain.
Oh, that is very well bowled.
Yes.
Extremely well bowled, completely cramped for room. That's a googly. Brings out the wrong end. It's not read well. This time it is in the gap though. And it's going to find the boundary for 4. Conventional leg spin delivery going away from the right-hander. And the extra bit of width just allows for her to be able to throw arms to it. Better line.
Disha Kavaripakam. She's another 15-year-old here, showing a lot of character.
That one keeping a little low. And it's going to end the over with a dot. 13 overs gone, 86 for 3.
A while back I was telling Brian, I am deeply impressed with Adia Rawat. She's a good trier. She's one of those bowlers who loves bowling the leg spin. And as you saw in that bowler, she bowls two ways, both ways. She's got the variation. Has a very deceptive googly there, which foxed the batter. But I like that she's been trying to get her line and length, sometimes strayed a bit, but she's keeping at it. She's a good trier, and she will only get better at that art. It's a very difficult art.
Actually had a really interesting conversation with Sindhu Sriharsha this morning. She said our problem is we've got a lot of leg spinners coming up through the system, but just one off-spin option.
That's a fascinating thing. Off-spin used to be such a widely prevailing option. Suddenly it's gone out, and I wonder.
Oh, misjudged. The extra amount of spin on the ball is also going to allow for the ball to run away. 2 runs picked up. Good running in the end. You know, it's just I wonder with that when she said to me that we have a lot of leggies and just one off spin option coming through the system. Back in the day, most people would pick up off spin first.
Yes.
You know, you might have the one odd leg spinner, but I wonder how much of that is the parents telling their kids take up leg spin. It's rare. It's an art.
Or the kind of attack that off spinners have come under in the last few years in T20. It takes a lot of heart and courage to do that.
Straight. Very, very straight, and it'll pick up 4 runs. Giovanna Aris does like to target down the ground. She's got the long levers to be able to power it down the ground as well.
Yeah, she picked it up pretty well. It was slightly fuller, but she's dug it out from the block hole. Played it straight, that's the key. She's tried to play her shots very straight. Even in international cricket, Manali, we have seen a dearth of off-spinners, and not that art is going away. We've seen in drafts and auctions, off-spinners are going at a fairly high premium because their numbers are depleting by the day. It takes a lot of, and a lot of them is because people are giving up that art because they feel that's an easier form that comes at a lot of attack. Batters go after off spinners much easily than any other form of bowlers. But
Yeah.
good off spinners actually have been there. Yeah.
Swing and a miss, but she practiced it right.
Yes.
Right after. Realized she was backing away. The weight was going the other way. Wants to go towards the ball instead.
Oh.
She varies pace. It makes it a bit difficult for the batters because of that variations in pace. Yash Aditi. Flighted, driven, and again a slight fumble, but this time it's just going to be a single to end the over. 14 overs gone. It's 94 for 3. It's crazy, isn't it, how much the game's changed over the last 10 years because of this shorter format.
Yes.
A lot of innovation, a lot of challenges, I suppose you could say, for the bowlers to stay relevant, to still be able to pick up wickets, to be able to restrict runs. It's also why we've seen the inventions of different deliveries. It's also why we've seen the inventions of different shots.
And even the off spinners who are there, they've gotten so much sucked into this idea of bowling the one that goes the other way around versus the conventional off spin that comes into the right-handed batter. It's just a matter of confidence, really. That was up in the air there for a little while. I thought the third man fielder thought there was a bit of a chance. She came in charging towards it, but that was a little too far away. So all is well there. No harm done. Just a single. Fourth over for Adia Rawat. She's done well so far. 1 for 16. Interesting to see. A leg spinner to a left-hander. The conventional leg break will come into Giovanna, and she would try to then, that's easier to play versus bowling the googly, which might go away.
Starts very full. Just want to try and pull that length back a little bit. These are important overs coming up, especially the ones from 16 to 20. It's where we see the Blazers struggle quite a bit. Down the ground, and it's going to beat the fielder. It's timed very well to bring up another boundary for them. It also brings up the 100 for the Blazers. It's 100 for 3. The length continues to be just a little off. Once too full, once too short. You just got to get it in that sweet spot.
Much sought after boundary there. And the singles continue. Suddenly the over looks very good for them. 7 runs, 2 more balls to go. Now looking at the bowling options, Geetika Kodali has 2 more overs to go. Taranum Chopra has 1. Amarpal Kaur has 1. Yashaditi has 1. And Adia will finish off. They haven't tried anything more than 5 bowlers this match.
Short again. Not a lot of bounce on that occasion.
That's a good total for you for this game, considering the need to win. It's must-win game.
Got to get close to that 140 mark.
140.
Anywhere around 120, 130 is just not enough of a required run rate in the second innings. You get up to about 140, 145, there's scoreboard pressure there. End of the 15th, it's 102 for 3. required, or run rate I should say, not a required rate yet, but it is down under 7 now. Kept it up above 7 for most of that opening partnership. It's going to be Skipper back in with the ball for her third over. Oh, this could be trouble. This could be trouble. Instead, it's a catch that's gone down. Misjudged. It was in the air and swirling for some time. And in a clash where it's captain v captain, Siobhan Aris has been given a life.
Adira Watt would want to have taken this. Not very easy, mind you. And it was always going against her, or away from her, with the wind coming from the south. And the ball continually being pushed toward the north side of the field. But it was in the air long enough that you just feel that she could have had a better opportunity to be able to take that catch.
2 straight. Flicked off the pads. And the poor delivery will be put away. It's going to bring up 4 more.
Oh, you said it. Cannot bowl that line. Under most circumstances, no. But that line from over the wicket is not going to trouble any batter, especially not Giovanna Aras, who has the highest strike rate of anybody on her side, coming in, striking it at 147. So you're going to have to be much more careful with your disciplines here, Geetika Kadale, looking to get around offside, or off stump rather. See that replay.
A boundary and then another single. I just want to see if we can get another side-on angle of that boundary. Take a look at how deep in her crease she is. And what she's done is she's manipulated the length to be able to have that extra bit of bounce to play it into wherever she would have liked. The line allowed for it to go down leg, but she's creating that extra bit, just that extra bit of space for herself when she goes deeper in the crease. And a lot of the intelligent batters do tend to do that these days. They will use the crease very well, whether it is going deeper in it, coming outside, going inside or outside the line of the ball. It just creates more scoring opportunities. It allows you to find those gaps a little bit easier. It also then makes it very difficult for a bowler to hone down on a line and a length that they're comfortable with. Good angle that. Very well bowled.
It's a good angle, and it's the one line that you can bowl under these circumstances to keep Giovanna Aras quiet. You want to bring it outside the line of off stump. She's very, very strong straight down the ground, even stronger to the leg side. Keeping it outside the line of off is how you want to bowl to her.
Won't quite find the boundary, but the intention is very clear.
Oh.
16 gone, 111 for 3.
111 for 3. Are you much of a Nelson superstitionist?
Not at all.
Not in the very least. Is that a very British thing? Has nothing to do with people from Canada or Kenya or anywhere else but England?
Pretty much.
Just I heard the back end of the conversation between you and Sheil about the phases of the game. First phase, the Bellevue Blazers in the power play, 42 runs, scoring rate at 7. A consolidation phase from over 7 to 14 didn't drop much in terms of their scoring rate, 6.5, but they lost 3 wickets. This feels, as you get into the acceleration phase, overs 15 through 17, where it really is the point that they need to start pushing on here. This current partnership worth 32 between Giovanna Aras and Disha Kaverapakam. 18 from 13. Giovanna Aras continues to strike it at above 100 strike rate. And this really does feel like the point in the innings where you want her to push on.
Oh, dicey. Dicey! Oh, that would have been gone if it was a direct hit.
It's a calculated risk. I don't know that I want to take a calculated risk to a fielder in the circle who has such a strong throwing arm like Jazara Claxton. Look at this. I think she's gone for all money if this hits. And in fact, she'd already given up because that would have been gone. So, yes, a calculated risk, but you probably don't want to take quick singles to her, Jazara Claxton.
Turn. And a bit of bounce as well, but she's done really well to watch it for another single. Quite enjoying the rotation of strike between these two. They've not allowed for themselves to get bogged down.
Rotation of strike is important. 45% of the deliveries in this innings have been dot balls.
Up and over, and all the way for 6. That is a top shot. And Giovanna Aris will continue to target down the ground, her area of strength.
It's interesting. Taranam Chopra is down at long off. Taranam Chopra, I would give 5'4" or so, 5'3" maybe. At long on is Geetika Kadali, 5'10". So that's smart batting to me. Choose the batter, or the fielder rather, that you can hit the ball over the top of. I dare say that had that been Geetika Kadali at long off instead of long on, that could potentially have been a catch.
At the 120 mark, with plenty of overs to come still. Oh, that was hit hard. I don't know if I can fault the bowler on that one.
Wait, what? Did I just hear you say you're not going to fault the bowler?
That was hit back pretty hard.
Getting soft in your old age, Manala Patel.
Listen, let me not remind you. I'll leave it at that. Gone. Surely gone. It's going to be reviewed. We're going to go upstairs on this one. Looking to come down the track, Giovanna Aris misses the ball, and excellent work behind the stumps. Almost ended up in the splits, Giovanna Aris, trying to get back in.
Do you know
How
sometimes
close was this?
if you get a new toy and you just want to stay playing with it, this feels to me like the umpire wanting to play with this toy, because this is clearly out, at least to the naked eye. And here's a collection and the dismissal. Don't think that there's much decision to be made there. Giovanna Aras getting in a truly difficult situation. But I think that the third umpire, who is in the hot seat at the moment, third umpire has a really easy decision to make. I would think that's Mohan Misala. That one to me looks pretty straightforward.
Well, whenever there's any bit of doubt, if you've got the ability to use technology, I say take it. You don't want to be unsure when you're making those decisions, but it does look from the replay that that will be the end of Giovanna Aris's innings. Now, to have a look at this is what I'm impressed with. The ground right beside us, there's another women's or girls cricket game going on in all whites. I haven't played cricket in whites and red ball in ages, but you look at some of these girls and they're so young. 17 overs gone, 121 for 4, and we've spoken about development for the last 3 days. That's promising signs on the ground beside us, because the next batch is ready to play on this ground in a couple of years.
Probably less than a couple of years. Remember that there are several players in this tournament who are ages 14 and 15. So it may be that some of the young ladies who you see in white today will be in colored clothing. Now, yes, we can already have established that I'm the old guy. I absolutely love white clothing and a red ball, even if you're playing limited overs, even if you're playing T20. My very strong preference is to use a red ball and have white clothing.
For T20.
Regardless of form, it could be a six-a-side. I just have something against colored clothing and a white ball. I just always have.
Oh my word, you just continue to prove how different we are in this sport.
It's a matter of age, I'm thinking.
I think so. We do come
No
from different
question.
eras.
Completely different eras. There is nothing like holding. Okay, Shield is off camera, but Shield, a brand new ball, a brand new red ball. The captain tosses it to you in the morning as you look at this. Captain tosses the ball to you. You smell that red cherry. You rub it against your pants, and you're ready to start marking off your run-up. You don't get that same feel with a white ball. You just don't at all. I rest my case. You're outvoted 2-1.
So, tidbit of information, I played a lot of red ball cricket. But I do quite prefer the colored.
Because you're young.
To play. To watch, I do love my test cricket.
Okay, we did just find a happy medium, and all was out of the world again.
Well, I didn't just say no to a whole format like you did. Come on now, Brian. Got to be a little bit more open-minded. What a good over this is, though, from Amarpal Kaur. Just a 1 run so far. It is her last over in her spell. And she'll want to try and finish this strong for her side.
She's doing what you expect her to do, isn't she?
Slashed away! Oh, that was always going up and away. Good effort. But it will be a single. All that drama for 1 run.
Jazar Claxton has taken a blinder in that exact same position on the very first day of this tournament, and she almost pulls off another one there.
Leg side this time. Plenty of protection. And just a single. Excellent spell comes to an end from Amarpal Kaur. 3 runs off the over. It's 18 gone, 124 for 4.
Let's take a look at this again. That's the stumping that you saw. That will not make Giovanna Aris's left knee feel any better. She got into a bit of a tricky position there and ended up, as you said, almost doing the splits. But of more significance is the fact that she is the last, let's call it, big hitter who's been around. The others can score, but they would be more accumulators of runs than being able to clear the ropes in the way that Giovanna Aris can. That's a pretty big miss, and now it is going to be the captain herself taking the ball for her final over.
Heaved. Leg side. And that's 4 more. That's a very good shot to start the over.
Well, clearly forget about what I just said, because Disha Kaverapakam has gone downtown just wide of long on to access that huge area on the leg side. 4 runs to start, and it's not very often that you see somebody treating Gitika Kadali in that fashion.
Looking to go for the block hole on that one. She's done really well to dig that out for single.
Pace-off delivery. So she's very intelligent with her, let's call it, change-ups, Gitika Kadali. Interesting matchup here because Elaine, very experienced, but known more as a bowler than a batter. But she's going to be tasked right now with just getting some acceleration, and making sure that she can score off of the captain of the opposition team.
Really well done. Finger's going to go up, and it's the little bit of movement off the surface that's going to see Aliyah Lane back in the pavilion. What a delivery this is from Gitika Kodali. Extra bit of bounce as well. And it's a peach of a delivery to see a high-class batter walking back.
Well, earlier I said that I didn't see how Shiel Majumdar could have heard an edge from sitting out here. Well, we heard that edge clearly, and we're about 65 yards away. Huge edge. Keeper goes up immediately, as does the bowler. And Aliyah Lane has to trudge off, not having disturbed the scorers by much. Look at this, and you see the big deflection there off of the bat. Always a clue also when the batter wheels that head around to see if the keeper is collecting the ball. All of those signs point to wicket. Excellent bowling by the captain.
Low full toss, and she's going to get away with it on this occasion. $130 on the board, with 1.2 overs to come. If they can get over that 140 mark, there will be pressure in the second innings with the bat. It also means the Raptors, who will be watching this game closely, will be hoping that they don't get too many runs. Going to come down to net run rate if the Blazers can win this game here. Giving herself some room, and this has been towed, and an easy catch in the end. Wicket number 6. Gitika Kodali is going to pick up her second wicket of the over.
Here's where I disagree with you. That's not an easy catch. That is over her head, and she's running backwards, running with her back to the wicket. Look, this is skied, and it's swirling in the air. The keeper, yes, she has the gloves on, but that is not an easy catch with the ball leaving you. That is an excellent catch and made it look easy at the end there, Aparna Gurumurthy, but by no means is that something that you could expect that she would have taken. Put it this way, we've seen
it's not
easier
something you expect her to take as a keeper.
with the ball in that high in the air and swirling.
Oh,
It is
my word.
absolutely not something that is easy. Full credit to Aparna Gurumurthy for that catch.
Come through pretty easily for a single to start the over. It's the final over. Want to try and push to 140. Taranum Chopra in with her final over. Skied high, and the spin's going to make it a bit more difficult to field this as well.
Certainly, spin would have played an issue there. Javi Patak, the ball has been sort of following her today. Once you see the ball go up in the air like that, here's that catching opportunity, and it's just going to be out of her reach.
Won't beat the fielder. Amarpal Kaur is going to keep it to just a single, turning out to be a very good final over. Oh, we see this so often. Struggling to play the regular shot, so we're going to make it more difficult, and we're going to bring out the switch hit. It's a dot.
Well, 2 balls remaining here, so anything goes at this stage. You're not going to get to 140 probably.
No timing. Surely they'll come back for a second. No, too late to turn. You've got to push the first one harder than that.
And now with 1 ball remaining. 134 on the board. Can you hit a 6 to get to 140? Well, you do have Shubi on strike. Let's see what she can do here.
Won't find the boundary. This time, no, they were going to stick to just the single. Not sure I agree with the running between the wickets in this over, but it is going to close off the innings. 20 overs gone, 135-4-6 on the cards.
135 feels like the downside of what they should have and could have gotten. The projected score was above 40 for almost the entirety of the innings, but they slowed down in the end, only scoring at the last 5 overs. They scored 33 runs, lost 3 wickets. Scorecard tells you the story. Everyone at the top of the order got a start, but not many people able to push on. Disha Dingra, the best of them all, 39 from 33. And 26 from 23 from Mahek Desai. But apart from Giovanna Aras, 26 from 17, no one else getting up above that 100 strike rate. And ultimately, they struggle to get to a good closing finish. 135 is where they end up.
Couple of handy bowlers in that lineup, especially when we look at the economy. Tarnum Chopra didn't pick up a wicket, but she bowled very economically. Along with Amarpal Kaur, she did pick up a wicket, and Adya Rawat a wicket to her. Yashaditi Teki, a little bit expensive, but she did get 2 breakthroughs, and the skipper Gitika Kodali, 2 wickets to her name as well. 135 for 6. When they come back, they need 136. They're going to have to bat well. And, well, we'll just have to see how that second innings pans out. We're going to take a short break. We'll come back with the chase.
Number in the center of your screen tells the story. The Washington Waves, in order to win this match, will have to score 136 runs. And they will have to do it in such a way that recognizes that it's not a very big target, but they'll have to bat properly. Cannot lose wickets in bunches. A required rate of 6.8 is not necessarily very difficult, but it can get out of control very quickly if they are not careful. So interesting that the openers are taking a little bit of time to make their way to the crease. It'll be interesting to see whether Jazar Claxton, I believe, will be one of the openers, and we'll see who the other opener is going to be. But they do have a pretty stiff lift ahead of them. As you look at the graphics there, that is the points table. Look at that column all the way to the right, points, which means if the Bellevue Blazers win this game, all three teams will be tied on 4 points. The Washington Waves, were they to win this, will easily have a foot in the door for tomorrow's final. And that would mean that the third team, the Redmond Raptors, would be also in the final. So it's not too much of an exaggeration to say, Sheil Majumdar, that this is a virtual semifinal.
It all gets down to here. Last innings, Brian, absolutely. You said it so well. And I guess it's going to be Nikhar Joshi. She is one of the top scorers so far, has been in scintillating form. And, well, the mathematics is clear.
Cutaway for 4. That's a good way to start from the Cardoshi. Not the best of deliveries from Janelia Claxton. I'm sorry, Janelia Glasgow.
Yep. That's what the doctor ordered. Go for it from the word go. Blazers, if they win it, they're in the finals. So will be the Waves. Because for Waves to... Oh, look at that. Emphatic. A Lusner from Janelia Glasgow and Nikhar Doshi in the form that she is in. She medaled it perfectly to the gap.
Better line on this occasion. There will be some nervousness. What I find to be very interesting is that Elia Aline did not get the new ball. And that is hammered away by Nikhar Doshi. 4 more.
Well, she's a stroke maker. We've seen her the last couple of days. She's played some handsome shots all the time whenever she's gotten the width, or whenever it's sat up to say hit me, she hasn't missed an opportunity. And in this case, 2 loose deliveries, she had made them count.
Up in the air, mid-on in possession, and the simple catch taken by Disha Dingra. So, revenge for Janelia Glasgow. Gets punished for 9 runs make that 8 runs from the first 3 balls. But the 4th ball, she takes a wicket, 8 for 1.
Wickets is going to keep them in the game. And that's the way Blazers can win this and make it count. Mind you, if they win, they go to the finals with the Waves. Oh, this was in the slot. And I guess it's less to do with what the kind of shot is and more to do with my commentator's curse. The record that I've been having since morning today.
You have been scoring with regularity. It's
prolific.
Half volleys on the pads, all
Absolutely.
of them.
It's like Amar Paul Kaur. That's the kind of average I'm playing with today. But yeah, that's a wicket. I mean, for what happened earlier today, for the Blazers, they had a pretty horrendous first over in the previous game, so they probably kept Ali Aline away from the first over and got Janelia Glasgow, who bowled rather well in the first over. She gave a couple of boundaries, but she gets a wicket, and that's the key for them, and they get the dangerous Nikhar Doshi.
It's an interesting move as Taranum Chopper comes into the attack. Outside edge, and it's going to fly away for 4. That easily could have been a 2nd wicket, but she's immediately off the mark.
They are in a hurry, Brian. They're in absolute hurry. Look at that. Outside edge. Maybe the fielder was interested, was slightly above them. Power play, those kind of shots, they really come. You just have to get an edge or a middling. Oh, look at that. It was a rank slog. Ooh. Interesting option. Genelia Glasgow. Bowling shot. Surprise the batter.
Oh, that is the end of over number one, an expensive one. 12 runs come from it, but the big wicket of Nakardoshi. Janelia Glasgow, I would think, is a better bowler than the first couple of deliveries would indicate, but she does come back and takes a wicket. So, what I find to be very, very interesting here, as an earlier I said, it was Taranum Chopra. I have been corrected long distance by my good friend Mitali Chowdhury, who says it's Sanvi Sood who is at the wicket. Now, in my defense, the numbers 1 and 7 look exactly alike from here.
Well, that's the same mistake we had the first game, Brian. For the whole game, we kept confused between who scored the 48.
And it's not just us. The scorers also had the same error.
Even today, it's the scorers too have made a correction. They had it Tarundum just end of that over. They made a correction to Sanvi. So I'm glad the correction is made now and not post game.
Yes, yes. Chetna Prasad into the attack. Ooh, she may have gotten away with one there. Bowling to Jazar Claxton. This is cut away in such a way that you would think, had she chosen to play a pull shot on the leg side, there would have been a better scoring option there.
The Blazers' bowling will solely depend upon how good Chetna Prasad, Disha Kawari Pakam, and Mahek Desai bowl. They have been their 3 solid pillars in the middle overs. It'd be interesting to see when Ali Aline comes into the attack, or if Giovanna introduces herself at some stage.
I find it very interesting that Aliyah Aline does not open the bowling. Yes, she had a shocker of an over this morning. Conceded 19 runs in that first over. But in that old phrase, you dance with the one that brung you. She has been their best pace bowler. And I don't know that you just completely give up on her after one bad outing.
I totally agree with you, Brian, there.
The other thing is, it is essentially telling her, I don't trust you right now. And that is somebody who is a professional who plays for West Indies. They may not find that as an issue, but we'll see how that develops. In the meantime, that is pulled away around the corner. For the next 4, there's now 4 fours have been struck in the innings so far. Off to a bit of a flyer here, 17 for 1, 4 balls into over number 2.
Going back to the conversation you just had about Ali Aline, I completely agree with you, Ryan. She should have been there in the first few overs. She brings in the pace, give her the confidence. She's international, she understands one can have a bad over or two.
Speaking of a bad over or 2, that is the second one drifted down the leg side consecutively by Chetna Prasad, and it has been punished both times by Sanvi Sood.
Well, you're defending 136 and giving him 5 fours in the first 2 overs. That's not the best way to start it. That was an easy ball there. Short of length coming the leg side. She just swiveled with it, placed it well, and that's it. Job done. Power play just to get past that close-in fielders.
Oh, she tried the same shot again. Maybe not quite as straight as she thought it was going to be. It is going to be signaled as a wide, but I just get the feeling that this one passed a little bit more closer to the leg stump than Sanvi Sood would have been comfortable with.
The leg side wide sometimes is so harsh, Brian. That's almost grazing the leg stump. Look at that. She moves up. Oh my God. That's like a needle space between the stumps and the ball. Almost grazing it. That's a bit tough on the bowler.
I would have to say that's a bit of a harsh call. But let's see how she closes here. This is an extra ball that she would not have had to bowl. And I'll tell you what, she is very lucky that that ball did not bounce a second time before it got to Jazar Claxton. Of course, if that had happened, it would have been a no ball. Gets away with it here. A bit of an expensive over there, though, for Chetna Prasad. 2 overs in the books, 23 for 1.
Well, the Waves dugout certainly look relaxed at this point. Why wouldn't they be? 23 of first 2 overs. They couldn't have asked for a better start to that.
Well, in my mind, you've had a bit of a tricky start here. And now going back to, I believe this is going to be Janelia Glasgow again. 1 over bowled. Bit of expensive one, 12 runs coming from it, but she did take a wicket. Oh, put down! Oh my goodness, directly to Mahek Desai. She's a better fielder than that would indicate. That's a pretty straightforward catch at point.
Catches win matches, Brian, especially in places like that. Look at that. That's a hit me ball, given it, probably played a little soft shot straight into the hands of the fielder. You will take that 9 out of 10 times, if not 10 out of 10 times.
Mahek Desai, attacking opening batter. Brilliant, brilliant leg spinner. And up until that point, you would say she's a very good fielder.
Once again, that digging in, that intentional short pitch ball, she does it pretty well, because from that little run up, sometimes it can bob up and cause a wide, but she's doing it very well. Effective.
Who wants this one? Mid-off. Mid-off takes it. Another wicket, so that drop catch does not hurt. Catch taken by Disha Kaverapakam. The happiest person on the field right now is Mahek Desai. Wicket number 2 goes down, 23 for 2.
Brian, that was a wicket that completely has Janelia written all over it. She rolled her fingers over, and when we'll see it, she plays it early. The ball is a little slower outside the off stump and kind of bobs it up, and that's a wicket created by the bowler. Excellent bowling there.
Really well judged catch in the end. So, look, you have to take them when they come. As you said, catches win matches. Drop catches can sometimes lose you matches. Mahek Desai is the happiest person on the field, as I just said, because 2 deliveries ago, she would have been thinking about that one that she put down. But thankfully, at least from her standpoint, her opening bowler delivers a ball that was not able to be put away. And that is the 2nd wicket down. So that does mean that Isana Vagela comes to the crease. Things are getting just very interesting right now, aren't they?
Interesting is an understatement there, because I can tell you, Janelia Glasgow, she's got an opportunity because Ali Aline is not bowling, and she's cashing on it. She's putting on a show here, 2 for 12 in a 2nd over.
And bearing in mind, those 12 came in her 1st over. So far in this over, she's bowled 5 deliveries, no run scored off of any of them, and a wicket to boot. Around the wicket, and she loses the wicket maiden as that's played into the deep. That is Aaliyah Lane down there, I believe. Yep. And a single, but things are really swinging emphatically in the direction of the Blazers. End of over number 3, 24 for 2.
Talking about that catch, the team in the break, the Blazers spent a considerable amount of time practicing their catching. But it all comes down to the actual match phase, when you convert that practice into actual execution. And we've seen some easy catches going down, and all these younger players would understand how important those moments are. You hunt as a pack, you give confidence to your bowlers, you back them up. This is a team sport, cricket. But thankfully, it did not hurt them at all.
Son of Vagela will be on strike, 1 from 3 after that delivery, as is Jazar Claxton, 1 from 3. 112 from 101. I would love to see what the wind predictor that Crick Center has, how they have this one going, as that's a good looking shot, but then it's fumbled at mid-off. So Mahek Desai, once again, not having the cleanest of days in the field. If we have the opportunity to look at that wind predictor, if you ask me for my own wind predictor, boy, it is really, really close to call here. Oh, look at this. The wind
88%.
predictor says 88% to the Washington Waves.
They're 2 wickets down. I don't agree with that.
Two wickets down. Now, let me say this. As that's tickled around the corner, they'll probably get 2 here. Yeah, they'll come back for the second run. In speaking with the creator of the brains behind Crick Center, it takes into account a ton of information, has all the data and all the players, how they batted the last 20 times they've batted, what their scores were, what were the averages of each of the bowlers who are in the opposition. It takes a lot into account. This is going to land safely. And so they're very, very confident that if they say that there's an 88% chance that the Washington Waves are going to win, that's what's going to happen. You remember a couple of days ago, was it yesterday or the day before, where that in over number 2, it said 92%, and you and I laughed, and it ended up being that the team that they predicted was at 92% is the team that won. But it will be interesting to say 88 just sounds excessive to me. We'll see how far that gets.
It almost seems like the election season out here in the United States sometimes. When you start seeing the early trends and the way some of the tabloids call it. They tend to be fairly accurate at the end. So if Crick Center is calling it, 4 overs gone, 28 for 2, then it's a fairly early call. Almost seems like a little bit of book cricket there.
Oh, goodness. Going at the rate of 7 and over here.
Prajit Moody there, the coaching staff from Waves. They look pretty relaxed for the moment. Couple of flutters, probably those 2 wickets, but they seem to be having it under control at this point.
Oh, goodness. Now, how do you play this if you're Jazar Claxton? 4 from 5. Target 136. Required rate 6.75. You're scoring at the rate of 7 and over. Does Jazar Claxton need to feel any amount of pressure to push on past where she is now, striking it at 80%?
Mahek Desai with her leg spin there, and will be good to see how Jazara Claxton goes from here. She's had a good tournament. She's had a couple of good scores, but we know she tends to take the balls coming into her a little safely, and that time it was a little full, but she went with the shot, slightly airy, but it's power play right now. And quite rightly, she's pretty strong on the leg side. She's got a couple of fielders in the deep for her. That was just a single. You all know she takes some time, Jazara, but she can be explosive if she's at the wicket for a long duration.
So Mahek Desai, just 2 balls bowled in this match so far. As a reminder, what she did on debut, playing for the US U19 squad in the Cayman Islands, is that's a lovely shot over the top, just a single though. In the Cayman Islands a few weeks ago against Canada. On debut, 4 overs, 1 maiden, 19 dot balls, 6 runs conceded, 5 wickets. An economy rate of 1.5 on debut. This is hammered away over the top by Jazar Claxton, and it will go for yet another boundary.
Well, I can tell you, Brian, if she brings in that form today, her team Blazers would
My
be
apologies, by the way. I said Jazar Claxton. That was actually Isana Vagela. I'm sorry. Finish your thought.
no problem. And if she brings this form, Mahek Desai,
Okay, now I really am confused. That replay that we just saw was Isana Vagela, but it was actually Jazar Claxton who played the shot, and I'm all of a sudden very confused. My apologies. Using the
Fine.
feet, how far has that gone? You have not seen a bigger six than this entire tournament.
huge. That is massive. You did say she can be explosive. Takes a bit of time, but then when she opens up, she waits for the right ball. Excellent judger of the ball that she wants to go after, Jazar Claxton. That's huge, as you said. Look at that. Whoa. She wound up into that, through the kitchen sink at it.
Look where this ball lands. If we have the ability to follow this all the way, maybe we'll get back to it after this delivery.
Oh, that's not
Cut away and through the gap for four more. So she goes 4-6-4 to close over number 5. An expensive one. It is 16 runs coming from it. End of over number 5, 44 for 2. Here we go. It's going on the back foot, leaning into this one and cutting it away. That is a really good looking shot, a good looking strike. And it goes all the way for 4. So after 5 overs, you have 44 runs on the board. 2 wickets down, so that would be a bit of a concern. But you're scoring at more than the required rate. In theory, 92 needed from the next 90 should not be very difficult. And maybe the Crick Center guys know what they're talking about when they say 88% is what the win predictor is, as we say hello to Manana Patel yet again. Good afternoon, Manali.
Good afternoon, Brian. Going in the direction that the Raptors don't want at the moment, with the 2 wickets at least. And a couple more wickets could be trouble. Aliyah Lane comes into the attack. Fired in, down leg for wide.
Aliyah Lane is bowling from a 3-step run-up.
I did see her while I was walking my laps, doing a lot of heavy stretching on the roller. I don't know if she's 100%. And fast bowlers rely so much on rhythm. So the fact that she's had to cut her run up in half.
Well, it's more than half. It's 3 steps.
Okay, I'm going to say that should have been taken. I know you're going to say it's a good effort. Brian, which way are we going?
I'm letting that go through to the keeper
I
and
think
focus on the next ball.
She had enough time to come to the ball. Yes, it was dipping, but I think she just sat down a little too early on that.
Aliyah Lane, as we see that replay again, just chipped in the air, and Giovanna Aras, who, again, carrying a bit of a knee injury. Her left knee is troublesome, landing just in front of her. So this is an interesting matchup. Jazar Claxton, who's looked dangerous, 19 from 10, with the biggest 6 that I've seen in this tournament so far. Facing up to Aliyah Lane, who I think it's fair to say is struggling with something related to her run-up, to her legs probably. That one had some zip.
Quite like that angle as well across the left-hander. Taking it across and just inside that wide line.
So before we realized from the 3-step run-up that there's likely something wrong with Aliyah Lane, I'm interested in your thoughts on a bowler who goes for 19 runs in her first over, only gets the ball late again in that same innings, as that slashed away for 4. Good looking strike, but just a little bit too much width on offer that time from Aliyah Lane. Your thoughts about keeping her out of the attack and bringing her in over number 6? Oof. This is a sphere going to be five wides. Yes, it is going to be five wides. And very clearly there is something seriously bothering Alea Lane. Not able to get the ball in the right areas. This one clearly down the leg side. And Sahasra Gorla not able to get the gloves behind that one. So 5 free runs and an expensive day with the ball continues for Leah Lane. It's going to be a dot, and that's the last ball in over number 6. An expensive one. 11 runs coming from it. End of 6. The score is 56 for 2.
Are you referring to the first game where she went for runs in the first over?
She went for runs in the first over, correct. 19 runs, and several of those were extras. And she did not bowl again, to my memory, until around the 17th over. Then, to start this match, where she typically opens the bowling, she's now coming in for the first time at over number 6.
I know for a fact she's not 100%, just based on the amount of stretching that she was doing in between the games. That being said, that first game, I would have given her another over. I wouldn't have waited as long as they did. Probably a little bit similar in this game as well. My thing is, pace bowlers need to make sure that they warm up properly, because a lot of it comes down to rhythm. And right now what she lacks is rhythm. Yes, the short run-up is a big part of that. But she's also got all this experience that she can pull in.
The fact that she switched to a run-up of 3 steps clearly to me tells me that she's struggling with something. Likely her legs, so something on her lower extremities. But the inability to find the right line for me is a concern. Disha Kaverpaka it is who is into the attack. Just taps this one back down the wicket. And I think, based on where you are right now, another 7 to 9 runs needed from 82 balls. In the air, and it's just going to be out of reach of the fielder, backward point. You would think that Ritul Duvivedi would have had enough time to get closer to that one than she actually did. Couple more runs.
Runs coming pretty easily at the moment. Width. Just a lot of width on offer.
Oh.
Done by the spin on the ball. It's a tough place to field. Point, backward point region.
I'll also say that I love this initiative for these young ladies. Having said that, the outfield is not the cleanest of surfaces to play on. It's a bit rough, and there are, let's call it, undulations in certain places in the outfield. So it can be very difficult to execute ground fielding to the level that you'd have wanted to. Having said that, a lot of these deliveries that are being fielded inappropriately, you'd almost have to say that it was the fielders who were at fault as opposed to the field. Well, 60 runs on the board, another 76 needed, 76 in the next 79. So it feels like the Washington Waves have the game under control. Certainly the way that it feels to me. And I'm interested in hearing your thoughts, Manali, as to how the Bellevue Blazers need to get back into this game as you've reached the end of over number 7, 60 for 2.
It has to come down to wickets. You have to be able to continue breaking partnerships. You've got to take out the dangerous Jazara Claxton as well. And all of a sudden the pressure will change sides. And this is why we were saying in that first innings, 140 would have just added that little bit of pressure.
We saw that gigantic 6 that Jazar Claxton struck, 26 from 17. And look who has the ball in hand once again. It's going to be the captain, Giovanna Aras around the wickets. Nothing going for that shot for me.
Do love the optimism when bowlers appeal. They always do that though, don't they, bowlers? It's something's just so natural to them.
That's why if you're a captain in a team where DRS is being used, you find the opinion of somebody behind the wicket and not the bowler. Because the bowler, in the bowler's mind, everything is out. It did not pitch outside leg. It was not bouncing over the top. It was hitting middle stump halfway up.
Oh, that's well bowled. Inside edge onto the pads. A quick single picked up.
Well, Giovanna Aras really happy, by the way, to see that she is fit enough to be bowling. Bowled a full spell this morning and is now bowling a lot lower or a lot later than she typically would have bowled. She typically bowls opening the bowling, but you like the fact that she's able to bowl such that that left knee is not bothering her. But her team has a lot of work to do here. That is a good delivery. That had zip to it.
Bit of extra pace, but not the greatest footwork by Isani Vagela on that. She is struggling out there. 4 off 13 deliveries.
Well, 4 of 13. Do you look at 4 of 13 and say, I'm going to need you to pick up your scoring rate? Or do you look at the current run rate of 8.13, in fact, after that single, 8.09, and say, our team generally is doing what we need to do. So let's not be too concerned about that 4 from, now 5 from 14.
No, I do believe that she's got to try and find a way to rotate the strike. And the reason why I say that is just you cannot put all the pressure on Jazara Claxton to be scoring the runs. You also can't afford to be eating up dot balls. Just got to be able to manage to find the gaps and get to the other side.
Trouble. Oh, if that's a clean pickup, I would think there'd be a run-out opportunity at either end. And that ultimately is a single where, very frankly, it could easily have been a run-out. That's a dot. Look at this. That time, the ball bounced a little bit more than she was expecting due to the roughness of the outfield. But you do get the single. That puts you at 63 for 2. 8 overs up, 73 needed from 72. So right around a run of ball. You talk about not wanting to put all of the pressure on Jazar Claxton. Jazar Claxton is now back on strike. Disha Kaverpakam is the bowler. A leg spinner bowling to a left-handed power hitter. You saw how far she hit that last 6. What is your mindset right now if you are Jazar Claxton?
See, I think this is where Jazara Claxton's done really well. She's not necessarily saying, I'm going to premeditate any of these shots. She drives the ball very well. She's playing the balls on their merit, and she still has the confidence to be able to come down the track and take it on the full. I don't think she's necessarily saying, yeah, ball coming into me, I'm going to channel that the leg side.
Hammered away over backward square leg. I just landed inside the rope. I thought that would have gone all the way, but 4 runs nonetheless.
And that's a pretty good example of what I just said. Short, it's on the leg stump line. This is easy pickings. She's not going to go out of her way to manufacture that shot, though, because she doesn't need to at the moment. Really well struck. 1 bounce over the rope.
Ooh, a slip fielder there would have been in business, but they'll get another couple runs. It feels like runs are coming way too easily. They've just passed the halfway mark in terms of the runs needed. They're on 69 runs, only another 67 to get. that puts you in a really good position because you still have 8 wickets in hand and you're not even through the 9th over yet. Do they want 2? They're not going to take on the arm of Aline. The Manali Patel win predictor right now says what?
Too early.
Too early. Maybe after this over, we can put up the actual Crick Center win predictor. It may change after this because a big hoik across the line. Isana Vagela misses, and the off stump is knocked back. So, a wicket down now. Disha Kaveri Pakam in amongst the wickets. 70 for 3.
That's a poor shot to a delivery that wasn't quite the right length to be sweeping. It just shows the amount of struggle that she was having out there, Sani Vagela. She's going to have to walk back. It's 3 wickets down now. Played right over it, just too full to be going across the line. And this is why I said a bit too early. 8.5 gone, it's 70 for 3.
Take a look at that replay again. So, I think I like what you said about just rotating the strike, pushing the ball down the track. This is a full enough delivery, and it's on the stumps, so you go across the line at your peril, but you get an easy single down the ground if you just simply play in the V, tap it down the ground. That is not what she chose to do with Sani Vagela, and essentially pay the price for going across the line. Amarpal Kaur, who is a very experienced player and will know that her team does not need for her to be superwoman. Her team simply needs somewhere around to run a ball, and they win this match easily. So the last ball coming up here in over number 9. Disha Kaveri Pakam in amongst the wickets already. 1 for 11 from her 1.5. A slip fielder in position, which I love to see. Put that pressure on. Quick single. And she took off very late to Amarpal Kaur, but she does get there in the end. So that's a successful over. Bowled by Disha Kaveri Pakam. 2 overs, 1 for 12. The score after 9, 71 for 3.
Who do you think is going to be in the final?
Well, as of this stage, if it continues along the pathway that it appears to be right now, it would appear that the winner of this game would be the Washington Waves. And if it is the Washington Waves that win, then you would think that it would be them and the Redmond Raptors. Appeal. Gone. Oh my goodness, the cat amongst the pigeons. Don't hand the win to the Washington Waves just yet, because the captain, Giovanna Aras, has struck. The dismissal is a big one. Amarpal Kaur goes, and that is 71 for 4.
Seam movement off the surface just takes it marginally away for Amarpal Kaur, but she was also very off balance through that shot. Outside edge, keeper does well, and the finger goes up. And this is why I will say that question last over was a little too early to me. I think there's a lot of life left in this game. 4 wickets down, 71 on the cards, and this game has come to life.
I would love to see if we have the win predictor for the Crick Center, guys. Let's see. There's the outside edge. Of course, can't tell from that angle that it was an edge, but everyone inside the circle went up. A very healthy edge it was. And Jazar Claxton at the non-striker's end as Taranum Chopra. It is who is taking her place at the wicket. As you said, this game has come to life. So it'll be very, very interesting here.
You've got a feel for our ball core. She is so.
Well, you and I assume Sheil Majumder have different opinions from the Crick Center win predictor, which says 95 for the Washington Waves. It feels like that might be a bit optimistic, but we'll see how it plays out. Taranum Chopra, 1 ball faced so far. Jazar Claxton, 35 from 25. And oh my goodness, full head of steam here for the captain, Giovanna Aras. You would never tell looking at her that there's been a history of a knee injury because she's really bowling well here, Giovanna Aras.
She's making the ball talk at the moment, Giovanna Aras.
Well, in making the ball talk, she's dragging her team kicking and screaming back into this match. That required rate that was down around 4.83 not too long ago has now shot up to 6.19. So you're now needing more than a run of ball. 64 runs needed from 63. And yes, it's very close to being a run of ball, but the point is the required rate is increasing. And Jazar Claxton, 35 from 25. It feels like there's a lot more that depends on her right now than there was a couple of overs ago. Clipped into the leg side. You're not going to get that pass.
I think she's just going to
Janelia
sit there.
Glasgow.
She's going to lounge for a bit. No real rush to get up. It's a nice day for a picnic at the park.
She certainly sees the funny side of it. Jazar Claxton. I'm sorry, Janelia Glasgow. Last ball before we get to the halfway stage. Inside edge onto the pad. What a great over bowled from the captain. She's absolutely done well here, Giovanna Aras. And that is the end of over number 10. Giovanna Aras's figures 1 for 4 from 2 overs. Spectacular. The players will take a break as we have brilliant sunshine all over the ground again here at the Fairfield County Park. We'll take that break with the players, and then we'll see you shortly.
The halfway stage, 10 overs, drink interval. Washington Waves are 72 for 4. They require another 64 runs from 60 balls. That's 64 runs off the last 10 overs for the Washington Waves.
The last 10, 72 for 4. So you're more than halfway there in terms of the runs that you need if you're the Washington Waves. The Bellevue Blazers will be very happy at the fact that in the last 5 overs, the Washington Waves have only scored 28 runs and they've lost 2 wickets. So it's kind of anybody's game at this point as you get into the second half of this innings. And it is going to be Janelia Glasgow to continue. 2 overs already in the books. Took 2 wickets. And it feels like a turning point in the game is just the delivery of 2 away.
Bringing their 2 of their best bowlers right now into the attack. This is going to be a very important phase of the game, Brian. Generally, if she bowls the rest of the 2 overs that she has in spell, she's already 2 wickets. She's got 2 wickets so far, and Giovanna is bowling so well. If they can continue for the next couple of overs and pick up a couple of more wickets, we will have an interesting roller coaster here.
That's not going to help. Spraying it down the leg side. Haven't had much success locating the ball in the right areas. That is the 11th wide of the innings. 15% of the runs that have scored so far, excuse me as I go through puberty, 15% of the runs that have scored have been extras, have been wides. And so that's a stat that absolutely keeps you out of the game. You're not able to build any pressure if you continue to give the opposition side runs.
And that's an unforced error, as they call it, because that's completely in the control of the bowler. A good ball, if that gets smashed for runs, you doff your hat to the opposition, move on with life. But if it's a wide, it's an error.
Well, once again, she's tried to use that short ball as a secret weapon, but it's not so secret if you do it once and over. And in addition to it being a short ball, it's a short ball down the leg side with no fine leg in place. All of that adds up to 4 runs.
And Taranum played it well. She went down on her knees, got under the ball, and made sure that she kept it on the ground. And got that placement. If she would have been standing, she may not have been able to get the pivot to get it that fine.
Oh, cheeky. And that's a misfielded short third, and it runs away for 4 more.
Well, that's the kind of effort that gets the shoulders drooping, and all of a sudden you can see all around the ground a couple of shoulders going down, a few arms on the on the waist, people watching. That's that's something that you should not do at this stage. You want to win. That should come out in your intent, with your body language, charging the ball, holding on to everything. 11 overs done, 83 for 4. 2 fours. One of them, credit to the batter. The other one, on 4. Should have been just a single. Oh, what a wonderful shot that was.
It's a wonderful shot to a bit of an ordinary ball. This is a much better ball. Maybe a little too wide, but steered expertly behind point for 4. As I said a couple of deliveries ago, 28 runs came from the last 5 overs, but 11 of them came from this last over. So essentially you've given back a lot of the runs that you've saved, and a lot of damage has been done. The required rate now back under 6. It's Giovanna Arias again.
And my commentator's curse, it's getting to prodigal levels right now, because
prodigal levels.
And now this time it was on the bowler. I came in and called out Janelia Klassen that she's having a great bowler, one of 2 of the better bowlers, and she gets punished in that particular over for 11 runs. I would rather not comment on the play. It's not fair on them, honestly.
Gone, full and straight, and she hits Taranum Chopra flush on the toe, and the umpire believes that this would have crashed into the base of Midland leg. Interested in your opinion on this decision when we get the replay, Mr. I almost called you Mr. Mahadevan, Mr. Majumdar. But what matters is it's 83 for 5, 84 for 5.
Yeah, it's a good ball. It was a pretty... It was not the strongest of the appeals that you would see. Slightly optimistic. That probably made it look like probably the umpire might not agree with it. But it was, in umpire's opinion, adjacent to the stumps. Let's take a look. It was probably dipping in, coming in, but did it do enough to come back and hit? it was York length. It came in. The question would be, did it come in enough?
It's no question very close. Maybe you can say it's probably shaving the outside of leg stump, but it's a very, very close decision. Had that been given not out, I don't think that there would have been a lot of complaints from the bowler herself, Giovanna Aras, and Taranam Chopra. When she goes back and looks at that replay, she may have a different opinion. No bowler, no batter, everything's they're out LBW. But it's a close call. The umpire gives the decision that he believes is the right one. And here we go. This is a very good delivery again. Outside edge found. It's
She's
going to
bowling
be Geetika
full.
Kadali.
Yeah,
Captain to captain.
she's bowling it full, and I would completely agree with you. In if it was done in some sort of an international games and it had that technology, we could have probably got that as an umpire's call. It was probably hitting and shaving the outside of the stump. So I'm not too bothered about that decision. It was very close.
I completely agree with you. Now, having said that, it's up to you as a batter to use your bat to stop the ball from hitting your pad. So
Yes.
if you miss a ball that's straight enough to at least call into question whether or not it should have hit or would have hit the stumps, then essentially the ball is in your court, no pun intended, to keep that ball away from hitting your pad. Gita
There was a little bit
Kakadala
of
getting
movement in that
off
ball.
the mark, getting that one down the ground for a single.
There was a little bit of movement, and going back to that dismissal, a little bit of movement in the air. So probably credit to the bowler to have deceived the batter to that extent, so that they could not get it on the bat and hit the pad. So all good there. I think this is a good spell of inspiring spell of bowling from Giovanna. Again, putting myself out there. My commentator's curse. I think at some point I'll get over that.
You are lethal with the commentator's curse.
No,
Well-
it's good. 2 for 6, 3 overs. They needed a captain's effort from her.
2 for 6 in 2.5 overs. Yeoman work here for the captain. This is just going to be another single as this is played into the offside. Cleanup work done by Shubhi Agrawal. And her coach down in California, Mr. Clint Copeland, must be happy with that piece of fielding. End of over number 12, 86 for 5.
The Blazers have to straight away look at those 5 wickets. They have to get the 5 wickets. They shouldn't get bothered about run rates, etc. right now. Although the asking rate is 6 point something, and that's not too high considering that the Waves are going at a little more than 7. So the Blazers have to go full on to get the 5 wickets, and the fact that they've taken 5 top order batters out augurs well for them. Jasara Claxton out here holds the key. She is standing like a rock. There you go, I said it.
38 from 30, and so you bring the off spinner Chetna Prasad to see if she can get the left-handed batter. Chetna Prasad, none for 15 from her 2.1 overs. And this is going to be an interesting passage of play, no doubt. Low full toss ends up playing over it looks like. So it just really feels at this point that this game can swing in either direction. And I hate to put it all on the shoulders of Jazara Claxton, but my goodness, her wicket is such an important one. Played into the offside. Geetika Kadali, the captain, will know that there's certainly work to be done here.
Looking at the bowling card so far, their 5th bowling option is a bit of a headache right now for Giovanna Aras. Mehak Desai has gone for 16 from a 1 over. Ali Aline has got for 11 from a 1 overs. That's 27 from 2 overs. the rest of the four bowlers have been doing a decent job. So they will have to find those remaining 2 overs from somewhere.
Scoop shot running directly behind the keeper. So she'll get a single. Asked her in the post game yesterday, how is it the scoop shot has become such an important part of her game? And she says it works for her. I will tell you what, if fine leg and third are inside the circle and you have acres of space behind you, it's not a bad option if you can get it to work.
I like her composure, Brian. I like the way she's so cool and calm at the crease. Doesn't get hassled that she's plays a few balls that doesn't yield runs for her because she knows she can come and do the damage control.
That's a dot that closes things out in over number 13. 88 for 5. Things are going to get interesting. 49 needed. Make that 48 needed in the next 42. Look at the runs in the tournament. This is an interesting graphic. Disha Dingra, top of the pile, 165 runs. Jazar Claxton, who we just talked about and who is in the middle of the action, 117. Tandem Chopper will take no further part in the group stages. 116 is her total. And then just take a look at the number of wickets. Amarpal Kaur at the top of the heap, 8 wickets. Disha Kaverapakam still has work to do, and she's number 2. She wants to add to that tally. Don't know if we have the chance to go back to that graphic because this, I think, will tell the story about what happens the rest of the way. Because if you have Jazar Claxton at the wicket, and then you have Disha Kaverapakam as well as the other bowlers on that list who are from the Bellevue Blazers, they want to keep climbing up that chart because they want to keep taking wickets and pegging back the Washington Waves. The required rate now up around 7. In the air, it will land safely. That is Disha Dingra out there on the boundary. Oh, where do things stand right now in your mind, Sheil Majumdar?
Yeah, tantalizingly, it's very even keel. Still, 5 wickets is quite a bit. Jazar Claxton holding the keys to this contest. In my book, at this stage, with nothing unnatural having happened, Waves, for all practical purposes, are already in the final. It is between the Blazers and the Raptors. If Blazers win the game, they go into the finals. They have better run rate. And if they don't, Raptors do. It's as simple as that. Waves are way ahead in terms of their net run rate. Even if a loss here may not dent it too much. I mean, by now, if they would have gotten out, say, at 20 or 30 runs, they might have done some damage to their net run rate. So it's how badly Blazers want it from here. And if they can hike up that intensity, and like I said, they have to find 2 bowling options.
She's bowling really, really well here, Javan Aras.
2 very good overs so far, Brian. The previous over got just 2 runs. Only a single so far, so there's a bit of pressure there.
To your point that you made eloquently a couple of minutes ago, what are your bowling options the rest of the way?
Well, I think at this point, if I'm the captain, if I'm Jivana Aris, I would back Mahek Desai. She probably had a tough over at that point, but she has been a frontline bowler who backs, who's a very confident bowler. So I'd probably go there. I would not look at Ali Aline. She doesn't look fully fit at this point. So Mahek Desai would be there for me as an option, and I would go ahead and give her the confidence at this stage.
She ends her spell with a string of dot balls, 4 of them in all. In fact, her last over only goes for all of 1 run. What a spell from Jivana Aras. 2 for 8 from her 4 overs. Brilliant stuff from the captain. 89 for 5. Let's do some math. 6 overs remaining. Disha Kaverpakam has 2 left. Aliyah Lane has 3 left. I think I agree with you that I'd be very hesitant to use her. Obviously, she's carrying some sort of an injury. Mahek Desai has 3. 1 each for Janelia Glasgow and Chetna Prasad. Boy, you're going to have to go spin heavy the rest of the way. You
On a
don't
day.
have a lot of options.
Yeah, on a day when we are seeing the faster bowlers are getting some purchase. Giovanna showed that, and even Ali Aline when she was bowling, a couple of balls when she got in the right place. Unfortunately, she got some boundaries here and there, buys, etc. But she was getting the pace. So right now you have to see if the spinner
Catchable. Did she take that? Oh, what a catch that is. That is Disha Dhingra at her best. What a big wicket. That is the end of the captain. Geetika Kadali goes for 3 from 7. 89 for 6.
Oh my God! You said it. That was a catch and a half. And expect your senior cricketer to throw their hands up and lead the way when the team needed the most. Fantastic catch.
That ball was dying as it got toward Disha Dhingra. Look at this. Off the Q end of the bat. Didn't hit it cleanly, but look at this. Coming directly toward her, and she gets the hands underneath it. Spectacular.
Yeah.
We have seen a lot today and really throughout this week in terms of catches that should have been taken that were grassed. I don't think anybody would have blamed or been very harsh on her, Disha Dhingra, had she put that one down.
That said, we've seen some spectacular ones as well. So
Yes.
we've seen both ends of the spectrum.
Yes.
Some real easy ones going down and some really unthinkable ones, being grasped. This one was like that. One may say that probably she missed just a tiny bit, that she probably went sideways rather than going front, but she made up for it more than what was needed and held on to it. That's the most important part of it. Chetna Prasad getting a wicket, 6th wicket. They need wickets if they have to get themselves a berth in the final. They have to win it. They have to go for the wickets. And I like the way they're going for it. They're showing the intent.
2 lefties at the crease. Does that change your thinking in terms of what you said about Mahek Desai? Having to bowl leg spin to 2 left-handers? Or maybe we're thinking way ahead. We still have 5 balls in this over, and Chetna Prasad is an off-spinner bowling to 2 lefties, so she liked the ball moving away from them.
I'll still go with Mahek Desai just for the skill. I will not look at who she's going to bowl. I'll just back her that she is an accomplished bowler. You can always have one of those tough overs, but you just go with the experience and the skill that the bowler has and back them.
Oh, just over her head, Chetna Prasad. If her name was Chetna Kadali, she may have been able to take that one. But this is a really good over underway. Just 3 runs coming from it. Look at where that required rate is. The required rate is up to 8.36. So there's starting to be some distance between the number of balls remaining and the runs needed to get. And it's going in the opposite direction from what the Waves would have wanted. And it feels like it all comes down once again to Jazar Claxton. Look at that. Shy at the stumps at the non-striker's end. I'm thinking that she was in anyway, Jazar Claxton, but that will stick in her mind.
She started late, so that was probably one reason she was a little struggling towards the end. But look at that asking rate. He just spoken. Oh, let's take a look at this one.
In the air, and the diving attempt can't quite get there. Oof. It was in the air for a tantalizingly long time. Radha Sriram is on the field as a replacement. Thought she would have been able to get to that one. Look at this. Just landing short. And as they say, it's all happening. Indeed. 1 ball remaining here in over number 15. Things are getting interesting here. 93 for 6 after 15. Is it too close to call, Sheil Majumdar?
Well, they have brought themselves back here. Credit to them. Chetna Prasad's previous over yielded 2. Jivana's over yielded 1. That induced Geetika Kodali to take a chance for a bigger shot. She gave her wicket away and 4 more runs. The pressure is the key to create wickets, and at this point Blazers are doing it nicely. One has to see how they will have to look at from here on, and as you're pointing out, there is a pivotal change in bowling here.
This is potentially a huge turning point. Aliyah Lane, we've talked about the fact that she's had some difficulty, obviously dealing with some sort of injury. Don't know what it is, we won't speculate, but it is essentially turning her into a medium pacer bowling from 3 steps. She was not able to quite get her line right in the 1 over that she bowled. Bowled 3 wides, make that 4 wides in her first over, and one of them went all the way for 4 additional runs, so 5 wides total. But she is going to be asked to do something special here, and once again starts with a wide.
She's just not getting it. One thing that I like here is the wicketkeeper standing back. In the previous over when she came in, because she had reduced the run-up, the wicketkeeper was standing up, and she ended up, giving away byes for 4. This time she's running behind. There we go. First time we are seeing Jazara Claxton frustrated. She's such a composed player. And you can see that she's throwing her bat around. She thought that was an opportunity for her to capitalize on. Well, you can see that little pressure creeping in.
In the air toward you and me, and it's just over the top. Just for a second I thought that the fielder on the boundary, Mahek Desai, would have been able to get to it, but it's over her, the top of her, and goes for 6.
There's something was waiting to give, and it was the batter who just judged it so nicely. There was probably 2% chance for the fielder there.
Yep.
But it was a tough one.
Oh my goodness. With that 6, Jazara Claxton's strike rate goes back up above 100. It was below 100 for a while. Almost for the entirety of this innings, her strike rate has been above 100. Knocked her over. What a big moment this is. Oh my goodness. 100 coming up with that 6, but this might be the moment of the match. 100 for 7.
This is certainly the moment. I mean, there was an option. Should we go with a spinner, Mahek Desai, or the seam-up option of Aline, albeit she's just bowling with a tiny run-up. The captain has gone with it. Look at that. She gave it a kitchen sink. That was not a wicket-taking ball from any stretch of imagination. It was just a slower ball. Deceived the batter who came down and went with the shot. Was too early on it. The ball just went past, trickled past her. Look at that. She's way too early in that shot. A slower ball, getting a wicket there.
It is easy to ask this question after the fact. You've already gotten a wide. You've already gotten a 6. Did you have to go running down the track trying to hit her out of the park?
Well, she was breaking the shackles here. The last 3 overs, the pressure had increased. She thought that because Aline is coming with a bit of a depleted strength, she would probably want to capitalize on that. And maybe it is also a bit of a Caribbean rivalry. It always works out. You know that. I've seen Dwayne Bravo, Karen Pollard go at each other. They get fired up looking at each other. I don't know. You would know more about that if there is a bit of camaraderie between them, that kinds, where they want to. But this was more of circumstantial to me, jokes apart. She probably felt she had an opportunity, but there was a little bit of manipulation in that ball. She had just slowed the pace a little and she got herself wicket.
That rivalry that you referred to, and I'm going to get a whole lot of people angry for saying this, is mostly between Jamaica and Trinidad.
Oh, really?
There's not a built-in rivalry between Barbados and St. Kitts. St. Kitts and Barbados are much closer in terms of culture than, say, the big island up north, that would be us, and the small island. Clint, I know you're listening to me. Trinidad and Tobago. But having said that, they both play for the West Indies.
Yeah.
They both would have had plenty of, let's call it, energy,
Yes.
each wanting to excel against the other. So not surprising that she tried to knock her out of the park, but unfortunately didn't come off with Jazar Claxton. And that is a huge, huge wicket in the context of this match. Oh my goodness, it does not get any bigger than that.
Clearly one of the moments of the game.
Oh,
16 overs done, 101 for 7. And what an inspired bowling change there. I'm happy that Giovanna Aras, from her own experience having bowled 4 overs, she saw that Seema probably would be an option, going with Ali Aline, and they got the wicket they wanted here. Now, the cat is well and truly amongst the pigeons here.
Dishika Verapakam, 2 overs bowled so far. First over that she bowled went for 4 runs. The second over that she bowled went for 8 and she took a wicket. Look at the bottom right hand of that screen. The Washington Waves win prediction has tumbled from 95 to 46. That to me feels a little bit more realistic. And as they're scoring in ones now, and as you've gotten rid of Jazar Claxton, it feels like 46 might be on the high end of where it should be.
Yep, I totally agree with you. At this stage, the Blazers have it more in favor of them, and it's a game for them to lose, really. Disha Kavaripakam, she did well with the bat today.
This is going to be getting away down the leg side. Don't know if she got anything on this. Wait to see what the indication is from the umpire. They ran 2. And it's just 2 byes. So it's not, well, it's an extra, but it's not a wide. So that, let's say, goes against the keeper and not against the bowler. Yashadi Titeki, we haven't said her name much. 2 from 4. Aparna Gurumurthy at the crease as well.
You've seen Yashaditi play a few big shots. She is, again, someone who is watchful, but when she's set, she can play. The first game we did see, she hung around for a while with Sanvi, and towards the end played a few big ones. But at this stage, it's that little, they'll have to see through this innings, at the same time ensure that they are not losing out on the momentum. One thing that we have seen in these few days is a few byes, etc. And I'm sure these young wicket keepers will understand how important their role is in games. Byes can relieve pressure, so they will want to be extra watchful here, not to give anything free, any freebies to the opposition.
Look at 1. Do they want to push for 2? They wanted to. That doesn't mean they can get there. I would like Sheil Majumdar for you to take our audience through the points table and what we're looking at relative to what is happening on the screen or on the field of play right now.
So Washington Waves is sitting quite comfortably on a net run rate of .556. Just in case Blazers win this game, all the 3 teams would be on 4 points each, which will mean the top 2 teams with the highest net run rate will go through. So even if the Waves lose the game, 17 overs done, 105 for 7, we take a quick look at that ball, slight variation, the ball, slight tiny leg break, that deceiving the batter. So if Blazers win, which means the Waves lose it, their net run rate would reduce a tad, but the way this game is set right now, it would not do too much of a damage to their net run rate. Might probably come down to 0.3 or so. And Blazers would also get 4 points, but they're already placed at a higher net run rate than the Raptors. And if they win the game, their net run rate will only go up, which will comfortably put them into the second position. And those are the two teams that will go up. But if Waves win it from here, then Blazers are out because they would not have the 4 points stall. And that would be Raptors that will be going in. So it is for Blazers to go and win the game because Waves really do not have a motivation here. They would like to win the game for academic purposes, but they're for all practical purposes in the final.
Paddled around the corner. That is a good-looking shot from Yeshaditi Teki and runs away for 4.
Now, if they score 4s like that, they will certainly go for a 6-pointer out there. Wonderful shot. She came inside the stumps, made herself room. The ball was on the leg stump, and she was well within the reach to swivel and make room. Finer, because the fielder was there, slightly more square.
She has height. Does she have distance? No distance, but it's going to land in front of Long On. That is Disha Kaverpakam, who had to come off of the ropes to get that one. So another single. 4-1. Look at that shot again from the first ball of the over.
Lovely use of the feet there, and the use of the crease as well.
Oh my goodness, it is coming down to this. Do you have the ability to catch lightning in a bottle? That is into the offside. They're running almost on everything here. That is a direct hit. I suspect that they're going to go upstairs. Oh, this is going to be close. What a brilliant throw that is, Janelia Glasgow. It is from that position. She's made several attempts at the stumps from that angle. Only one stump to aim at. She hit it, and it is now up to the third umpire to make this decision.
They are well and truly hiking their game up here. Oh my God. That's out by a mile.
The decision for the big screen has been made. 109 for 8. Make that 110 for 8.
That is an absolutely stunning throw. And more importantly, it's also the throw in a situation where they need it the most. To have the clarity of thought, aim, take that moment extra, not throw herself into the throw. She took that little bit of moment, aimed at it, and then let go, a rocket throw onto the stumps. Oh, the dugout out there of the Waves, they were looking so relaxed and happy a while back. They look a tad angsty right now.
Oh my goodness. This game has turned a mile. In the air, do we have another wicket? We have another wicket. Oh my goodness. Catch taken by Mahek Desai. Love to see her hold on to a catch. 110 for 9.
This is an incredible comeback. In fact, the Blazers are fighting, showing that they need it so badly. Look at that. That was once again a slower ball. She came down and the ball sort of kicked up on her. And a very comfortable catch by Mahek Desai. But we say comfortable, the situational complexity and everything else. Sometimes even the comfortable catches can become tough. The most important part was keeping the head cool and grabbing it. 8 wickets down, 110.
If I'm not mistaken,
That's
did I
a
say
wicket.
9? It's 8 wickets down. There we go, 110 for 9. I thought I was off by 1. So 110 for 9. The last pair is in. Yashaditi Teki has been dismissed. Adia Rawat is at the non-striker's end. And the new batter is going to be Jaivi Patak. Jaivi Patak for the Washington Waves. All of 15 years old, facing up against the senior professional here in Aliyah Lane, 31 years old. And this is the matchup of, is this David Goliath? Is that appropriate? Aliyah Lane is the most experienced cricketer in this tournament. 68 T20s played for the West Indies. as compared to a youngster, all of 15 years old, with 1 wicket to go.
And she's brought us back. She's picked up 2 wickets, probably created one more wicket if you say so. The creation of a run out can be attributed to a bowler. But the point is, she has used all her experience, despite her limited abilities, to make it count for Blazers. She's asking a question if that has clipped the bowler batter there. A little bit of smile between, and banter between the umpire and the bowler.
Interesting. She's going stump hunting. She's gone around the wickets to Javi Patak. She's hunting for the base of middle stump here. Solid in defense. It just feels like the key here is to see off this next ball if you're Javi Patak. Adirawat doesn't have a whole lot of batting behind her, but you just want to be able to get past this player, and she accomplishes that fact here. Then the last couple of deliveries, no runs, but importantly, that last wicket is still in the bag. End of over number 18, 111 for 9.
Well, if ever the Nelson needs to work like it is now, I'm sure they would love to make it 112 and a bit more, I guess. 99% Blazers right now, the win predictor. Quite aptly.
Oh,
Does look like
goodness.
that. So the predictors do change.
They do. So the Blazers win. Everybody ends up on 4 points. And per your analysis, the team that would get to the finals tomorrow would be the Waves and the Blazers. Is that right?
Yes, that's what it looks like. And well, it's become a bridge a little too far. 25 runs to get now, 11 balls. You never say never in cricket, but this looks a little uphill, little slightly higher for them to achieve. Disha Kaveri Pakam. I've said this, she's had a decent game, ball and bat. Young talent again, one of those teenagers playing this sport this couple of days.
Well, they get off the Nelson. 112 is your score. For what it's worth, the required rate is 14.4. You need another 24 in the next 10 balls. But, of course, this game also could be ended in the next delivery. And this has been a really, really stunning performance with the ball for the Bellevue Blazers.
Morali Patel is going to make the decision of who's going to be the MVP. A lot of good performances there, and I bet Giovanna Aras might be one of the strongest contenders there. She kind of changed the tide as a bowler, taking up some wickets. And there are some other performances as well there too. Required run rate 16 right now.
Well, it might be the time to stop talking about the required run rate, because as of this stage, as they say, it's all over but the shouting.
Remember the name, Carlos Brathwaite. You would not forget that one.
I
for
absolutely would not forget that one. So it's an interesting point that you bring up about player of the match, Giovanna Aras, with the bat. 26 from 17, 2 4s and a 6. And with the ball, Giovanna Aras, 4 overs, 2 for 8. That to me feels like player of the match territory.
Yeah, they are hunting like hawks right now.
Oh my
Entire-
goodness. Everybody is around the bat, and everybody is essentially saying, look, let's just get this over with. 1 ball remaining here in over number 19. And it's just a matter of knowing what the final score is going to be.
Very impressive performance by Blazers. They had a fairly forgettable outing the previous game.
No question. I believe that's an outside edge. They'll get 1. They want to come back for the second. They do come back for the second run. No signal from the umpire, so that was in fact an edge. End of over number 19, 115 for 9.
As I was saying, a very good performance, really an impressive performance. They showed that they wanted to win. They showed the willingness. They showed the thirst to go out there and grab those 2 points and make the finals their own. I think that's the character that you would probably, that stands out the most besides all the skills that was on display. They batted with some plans in their head. I think their openers batted so well. They did that for the last game as well, but this game they kept the tempo up. They got that extra few runs in this particular game. But they came back, despite not starting so well in the bowling, they were able to get this match.
Whoa.
Oh my God, what was that?
So it's a full toss, no ball. Aliyah Lane has a very mixed bag of fortunes in this match so far. And how much of a poetic justice would it have been had that been a run out to end the match without them having the free hit. So this is going to be a free hit.
The way she rubbed her hands on dirt, that's a slip, 100% a slip because of sweaty palms.
Yep.
This weather is not conducive for sweat.
No, it's not. It's not.
Maybe it's the pressure, the situational pressure.
That's the free hit. She throws a kitchen sink at it, comes up empty. So Adirawat and Javi Patak. Just 5 balls remaining in this match. I should say 5 legal balls. Because that's another one down the leg side. Oh my goodness. So you have 118 on the board. For what it's worth, 18 more runs left for victory.
3 sixes should do it.
3 6s, and we all go home happy. And if that happens, this is tapped into that backward square leg area. No run. Last 4 is what you have here. Full credit to Aliyah Lane. Again, not having the best of days, clearly struggling with something, but she came good when it counted, and she got the big wicket of Jazar Claxton. That made all the difference in this match. No opportunity for a run here, so it's just a matter of knowing what the final margins are going to be. A couple of dots after that wide. And now we're at the most 3 deliveries away from this match being finished. And this is going to get through the wicket keeper. It's going to go for a bye. Coming back for the second run.
Well, I say that again. Wicket keepers need to understand they have such an important role to play.
Yep.
A bye is a freebie they don't want to give away. I can understand leg buys. That's got a It's got a deflection. Lovely shot.
Put away into the leg side for 4. That is a good shot. And that will make her feel good. Adirawat. So 1 ball remaining in the day. 124 on the board, but certainly it will be a victory for the Bellevue Blazers. Once, absent wides and no balls, of course. And this is just tickled into the leg side. A very anticlimactic end because the Blazers have put their hands up and have put together a really strong performance with the ball to take victory by the margin of 10 runs. This is really, really good stuff. You'll see the full scorecard here in a minute. But Sheil Majumdar, I'm extremely happy at the way that things have turned out for the Bellevue Blazers.
Absolutely, and in a tournament like this, you would want the decision of finalists to be made by the last ball, and that's exactly what it happened. I'm glad that you don't want the results the way it is. You don't want any teams to lose, but I'm glad it came down to the last game and towards the last ball. Look at that. Jazara Claxton once again stood tall amongst that, and nobody else could make any sort of contribution of repute out there. They would have probably wanted Nikhar Doshi to shine today. They would have probably wanted Sanvi Sood, Tarunam Chopra and their likes to come good. But it was just that one solid knock of 47 or 45 that was shining out there from that total of 125 for 9.
Yeah, they'll be disappointed in the fact that the names that you called, particularly Linda Cardoshi, because she was looking so good. Struck 2 4s initially in the first over, but then gave a simple catch to Disha Dingra at mid-on. And then the bowlers, I thought, were spectacular. 2 wickets each for Janelia Glasgow and Aliyah Lane. And Giovanna Aras, again, I think, a player of the match performance, 4 overs, 2 for 8. But do not forget about the efforts of Aliyah Lane, who clearly was struggling with something, but she came back at the perfect time and took the big wicket of Jazar Claxton, and then to me that broke the back of the chase for the Washington Waves. So that is your full summary. 125 for 9 is all that the Washington Waves could get to. The Bellevue Blazers take victory by the margin of 10 runs. Disha Dingra top scoring, 39 from 33. Giovanna Aras herself, 26 from 17. And then with the ball, Jazar Claxton, when she batted, scored 47 from 45. Sanvi Sood, 12 from 9, but Giovanna Aras, 2 for 8. And Janelia Glasgow, 2 for 24, are the ones who set the match up beautifully. The points table is not yet updated, but we believe that the finalists tomorrow are going to be the Washington Waves as well as the Bellevue Blazers. So we will get or await official confirmation on that. In the meantime, we'll go silent for a moment and then go over to Manala Patel for the closing ceremonies for this game. In the meantime, we're signing off here from the commentary area. Brian Walters and Sheil Majumder. See you at the non-strikers and see you at the media center shortly for the closing ceremony.
Welcome to the post-match presentation. It was the Bellevue Blazers taking on the Washington Waves. 135 for 6 put up in the first innings by the Blazers, and they do win this contest by 10 runs. We're going to start off speaking with the losing captain before we talk about who's going to be the player of the match. If I could please ask Gitika Kutali to come up. Gitika, tough one, but it really wasn't a pressure game for you, was it? You were already in the finals.
Yeah, our first priority was to make sure that we secured our spot in the finals, but a loss is a loss, and it's something that we need to learn from, take accountability, and really step up as a team.
Now, does that affect the momentum going into the final, because you have a loss right now and you've got another game first thing tomorrow morning?
I think because cricket is a game of ups and downs, I feel like it low-key goes ups and downs in waves, pun intended. But yeah, I mean, it could affect the momentum, but really it's a shorter format. It's anyone's game, and we're going to come in with a really high intensity.
How do you go back and rest up, because you've had a long day today?
Yeah, pretty well. I mean, I'm glad we got our 2 games a day out of the way in the beginning of the tournament, but we're definitely going to rest up. We're going to encourage each other and come back stronger.
Any game plan going into tomorrow?
I think we had some great plans today. Kudos to the other team for really putting us under pressure and cashing out on when we weren't able to execute. But we're going to go back, reflect, and come back with even stronger plans.
Tough luck today. Best of luck tomorrow.
Thank you.
Now I'm going to start off by introducing our presentation party. We've got Jessica Ivy, marketing with the Seattle Orcas. Thank you for joining us. Time for the player of the match and the winning captain. I'll ask Giovanna Aras to come up. And we'll start with your player of the match performance. 26 off 17 and 2 for 8. Thank you. Should we talk about player of the match first?
Whatever you want to talk about.
Well, you were injured, you weren't bowling, you've come in, you've picked up wickets, you've scored runs. How is it feeling when all of that comes together?
It was incredible. I mean, the girls backed me. They knew like my knee was hurting a bit, but they really just supported me through it. We had good plans, I think, going into our bowling overs, and we executed them extremely well.
It has been a long day for you, though. You've ended it with a doubleheader, and you've got a finals to play tomorrow. Pretty excited about the finals?
Oh, definitely, all of us. I mean, we were joking around in the beginning of the game. We were like, okay, we're going to make it, and then we're going to go celebrate, and our coach is going to dance with us. So I think a little bit of the coach dancing kind of motivated us to like really work out and like work really, really hard on the field. I mean, we did that. We batted well. I feel like all of the batters, they did what they needed to do. They executed their plans. It might not have gone the way that they wanted in the end, but I feel like they did what they needed to do. The boys did what they needed to do, and the fielders really just backed everyone on the field.
Now, it is a big win today. Yes, you're going to celebrate a little bit, but how do you then focus or refocus for the finals?
Well, I've already told the girls, don't celebrate too hard. Just go to bed. I told them we just need a rest. We have to do exactly what we did, carry our momentum into tomorrow's game. But that's really it.
No curfew, though.
We'll see about that.
Well, thank you so much. Well done today. Best of luck in the final.
Thank you.
That's going to wrap up the post-match presentation. It is the big final tomorrow. It starts early as well, so rest up, and we'll see you all tomorrow morning.